I already have one good, bad, and ugly story for you for tomorrow if I find others
Wow.
to send.
Wow.
It's funny. I get a lot of them when I go on my Facebook feed because I follow NBC2, and they do a pretty good job of posting the unusual on there. So then I
Okay.
don't have to dig through it on websites.
Right.
But I gave you my main three that I go to for it. And you sent the links already, right, to the guests?
I did.
You're the man.
Morning, morning. Lincoln Lawyers next month on Netflix.
You love that show. I might check that
I do. Out. Coffin Ball wishing you the best. Brian Russo recommending Paradise season 1 on Hulu.
All right, here we go.
Guys, you may want to send them in again. Mark was, busy.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this final Thursday in January, where it's balmy out there. I mean, just downright balmy compared to what it's been. How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. All right, balmy might be a little bit too much of a sell. I think it's 3 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. So,
where you are, it's colder here, I think.
Really? It's like mid-30s in Jacksonville. Man.
I don't know. It's just it's 41 here.
I thought earlier this week it was late 30s one morning. So, but yeah, obviously it's not pleasant. I mean, Javier, the very first post we get in the chat room this morning, very first post. All right. He's wearing a jacket indoors. All right. Wearing a jacket indoors and is going on a diatribe which was darn near expletive laced. I mean, that's how much people are breaking, Mark. Okay, I'm wearing a sweatshirt in my own home. This weather is ungodly, intolerable, and quite frankly, downright rude. Good morning, guys.
Yes, it is. You are correct, sir. I don't know what to tell you. It's cold. It may snow for the Winter Classic. And while that's normal, it's not normal in Tampa.
I was going to say.
I want it to snow. I want flurries so badly for that game. Like nothing I've ever wanted. I mean, come on. It would be fantastic.
People would have to watch, right? I know they don't watch hockey, but come on. If social media could get to work and go, turn on the TV early Sunday evening, it's snowing in Florida and they're playing hockey outdoors.
Yes.
I mean, come on, that's got to get your attention, doesn't it? Unbelievable.
It would be amazing. I guess, and you can't believe everything you say, but I did go tee it up yesterday. And one of my buddies said there's a chance in Southwest Florida that there could be flurries. It would be amazing.
I guess they're talking about the possibility of below freezing in Miami, which hasn't happened since the Reagan administration, the final days of the Reagan administration. I mean, this is unprecedented stuff here. So it's still awful. And, for our friends in Huntsville and heading into Tennessee, and never mind, I mean, north of that, it's not even zero. And it is winter. It's something.
Yeah, as much as we're bitching and moaning down here in Florida, it's actually really cold in a lot of other places.
Yeah.
I mean, my son's in North Carolina and pretty close to the coast. They don't get cold weather. High of 29 yesterday. That doesn't even get you to where the places that are always cold are. They're having unseasonably cold temperatures.
Right. So obviously this is the calm before the storm. Next week is Super Bowl week, and I think most of us have outgrown it. To be honest, I think most of us feel as if the week is not necessary.
And I wonder if it will still happen, and I think it will, but when they go to an 18-game schedule, will they cut off the week between championship week and the Super Bowl?
And I think they will keep it as is, because just extending it another week kind of makes them have a hold over the sports world for another week.
Well, and the other thing is, if this trend of firing 47 coaches continues, it gets you that week to have a lot of coaches hired, to your point, David, and keep them on the front page of the news cycle, or the sports news cycle, that is. We don't want it. We don't do news. We do sports.
So the Hall of Fame making headlines once again. Apparently Eli is 0 for 2. He's not going in. I don't have a problem with the debate over Eli. I know I'm a Giants fan. Okay. And do I think Eli's going to get in one day? Sure, I do. I mean, you're a quarterback. You win 2 Super Bowls. It seems like a rite of passage, but I get it. His regular season record was 500. Was he a Hall of Fame regular season quarterback? No.
Hell no, actually.
No. Now, I would argue with some of the teams he played on, he was a better regular season quarterback than his numbers convey. But I mean, he's one of the 5 greatest playoff quarterbacks of all time.
Yep.
I mean,
undeniable, David.
Amazing.
It's really undeniable.
And so, eventually, to me, Mark, Eli is that ace pitcher who didn't get to 300 wins, whose ERA is a little high. And yet you go, yeah, but did you see him in the playoffs? If it was a big game, I mean, I know he's not an all-time great, but in a big game he is. I mean, you wouldn't pick many other quarterbacks to play for you before you'd pick him. So Mark, I don't know if he's Jack Morris. I don't know if he's our buddy Blyleven. I think he's Kurt Schilling. And the only reason Schilling's not in is a personality thing, and quite frankly, arrogance and ignorance by the voters. He should be in. That's absurd. Okay, but I mean, that's what I think Eli is. I could argue Schilling was a better regular season pitcher than Eli was, although, the whole fourth quarter and overtime comebacks, Eli's on a very short list. I mean, a staggering number, actually, of come from behind wins. But, I think he'll get in. Besides, none of us are, feeling bad for Eli. He seems to be doing okay. family seems to be all right.
He's doing all right.
Yeah. So, if it takes a little while, okay, it takes a little while. Whatever. In fact, to me, put in a couple guys then that are borderline. I have no problem with that. By the way, did you see the Kansas City Star guy?
Yes.
He wrote his column. He said, I didn't vote for Belichick.
And he gave his reasons why.
Right.
That he thought so many players in this Veterans Committee had been passed over the years.
Yeah.
That he thought the 3 that were on it this year were very deserving and didn't want to see them miss their chance.
And he thought, quite frankly, that enough of the rest of you would vote for Belichick that he would get in. But
interesting that the Hall of Fame put out statements that they were going to check on everybody's basically eligibility to vote. And in an anonymous vote also put out that Bill Polian did in fact vote for Bill Belichick. That's convenient. I mean, when they tell you they don't want you to release who you vote for and get upset when you say who you voted for, and then they tell you who someone voted for, fascinating to me. Really and truly, that's fascinating to me. That seems like a CYA, if you know what I mean.
Did they release that? Because I know he released it. He released a statement yesterday afternoon.
According to an article that I have in The Athletic, the Pro Football Hall of Fame confirmed Wednesday that Hall of Famer Bill Polian did vote to induct former New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick in his first year of eligibility, backing prior statements by the former Colts executive.
Okay. So now we have to find 10 other people besides this Kansas City Star guy? He's the only one on record saying he didn't vote for him. I applaud him. I do. I said it yesterday. Hey, man, own it. Own it. Listen, I think you could make the case Spygate's a reason to not vote for him. It wouldn't have been enough of a case for me, but, if it really bothered you, own it. So the Kansas City writer said, I wanted Ken Anderson. I wanted L.C. Greenwood. I wanted Roger Craig. I wanted them to get votes. I feel they're worthy.
At the end of the day, the voters on the Miller and Moulton show, at least in our poll question, Bill would have come up short. 73% of you would have voted to get Bill in on the first ballot, but 27% said Spygate, in your estimation, was enough of a reason to keep him out of the hall for a year.
So essentially the vote would have been 37-13. We would have had enough no votes from our audience to keep Belichick out.
By the way, does anybody else, while you're listening, and please let me know at 21,000, enjoy, because I do quick math. I do. I'm not as fast as David. But that's a lot of math for some people at 6:12 in the morning. I just think it should be noted. The math, sometimes you always claim the wires aren't touching this early, David.
Right.
The math wires are always touching. I
Yeah.
can throw a fraction at you. You're going to give me the percentage. Whatever it is, the math wires are always touching.
Right. The trivia wires, that's a jumbled mess.
Yeah, well.
That's a jumbled mess at 6:12 a.m. Eastern. But no, the math wires seemingly have always touched.
Yes.
I don't know what that's all about. Thank you. Thank you. So anyway, so it looks like no Belichick, no Eli. All right. Okay. Let's keep going through the list. What about this guy? What about this guy?
By the way, if we ever had this much information this early about who's not making the hall?
No.
Never.
This isn't supposed to happen either.
Right.
So I love the hall threatening people yesterday, but not getting specific as to what they're threatening them for.
Yes.
It's like, I'm grounded.
If you don't watch it, we'll take away your vote.
Why?
I'm not saying.
No, we'll let you know. Keep paying attention. Mom, you can't do this. The hell I can't. I'm your mother. Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Spring training is a big win for Lee County. Beginning next month, we will proudly host the Boston Red Sox and Minnesota Twins right here in Southwest Florida. It's more than great baseball. It's jobs, visitors, and $69 million in tourism impact for our local economy. Get your tickets at redsox.com and twins.com. Be part of something that strengthens our community. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I've been getting these clips on my TikTok hole of it's basically, I think it's an old like St. Louis Blues podcast they've started, and Kelly Chase and Brett Hall are doing it. and they're talking about Shanahan and just how tough he was, and just showing that, he's like, I go to Detroit and he's still fighting. He goes, he's scoring 30, 40 goals a year, and he fights Darian Hatcher every time we play them. He goes, and Hatcher's 6'5", 230, and Chase is like, at least. And then he goes, I guess the two of them were out, and he goes, Hall goes, I'd never FaceTimed. He goes, but I did it. So I FaceTimed Shanny. And we're talking about when we were at whatever bar it was, when we got into a brawl with the rugby players. And Shanahan acts like none of these things ever happened. And he's like, I'm president of the Leafs now. And he's like, whatever. Does that mean you didn't get into a bar fight with the right? I don't know what you're talking about. It was fantastic.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. It's Mark's last show for a while. Guessing that most of you know by now, but Mark's been battling cancer, leukemia.
Yay!
And the good news is that he needs a bone marrow transplant, and they found one. And so he's going to go off and get it.
This is pretty crazy, by the way. The person, and I will not know who the donor is. Okay. I guess a couple of years from now, I can find out. Because that's basically the length of time to find out whether or not this worked. But he or she will give this stem cell bone marrow transplant, I guess, because my transplant's next Friday. So I guess they will do it next Thursday. It will be taken by someone to the airport, flown to Tampa, and then delivered to Moffitt. It all happens in a very short order. And,
So this is right out of Grey's Anatomy. We're running to the rooftop.
Right.
Okay, we got the stuff in the thing, and we're jumping on the helicopter, and we're going.
Exactly.
Huh.
That's amazing to me. Said it yesterday. I'll say it today. BeTheMatch.org. You have to be under the age of 40. And as I mentioned, that means the majority of our audience is not eligible.
I mean, 7 of you pay attention.
Right. But that's who's responsible for me. And if you have the ability to do that, you could actually save someone's life. I can't speak highly enough about those folks because they very well may save mine. So BeTheMatch.org is the site. Little questionnaire to fill out. Please, if you have the means to do so and you're young enough, do so. That would be outstanding. It would mean the world to me.
And as to what the show is going to be like over the next 5 weeks, well, obviously, I'm not taking a day off. And Mark, since his name's on the show, he's got carte blanche. He can do whatever the heck he wants, depending on how he feels, how bored he is. Okay.
And what they let me do at the hospital.
Right. I mean, I can't wait because Mark has had to listen to all of the demands that I have made over the years. And, I've had some medical stuff also in the last half dozen years. And I just tell my doctors, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. The show comes first. And they look at me and go, listen, I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But listen, we got an audience, man. I mean, I can't hang my guy out to dry for 4 hours. Okay.
It's funny you say that because
he wants me to.
They scheduled an appointment for me. And they schedule these things way far in advance for like June. And I get the email, you're scheduled for a virtual appointment, June, whatever, at 9 a.m. And I'm like, the hell I am.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you, but you need to move that to like at least 10:15. Okay. I'll even do 10. I got no problem sitting in here and doing it, but no. 9 doesn't work. It does not work for me. Okay.
I have to admit, it has maybe been the part of my journey that I have enjoyed the most, because you realize that the medical folks don't get told no a lot. Okay. They're the highest ranking people where they work, and they usually dictate to the clients, we're going to do this here and this then and what have you. And so I just, no, that ain't going to work. What do you mean it's not going to work? I got a show. I don't know what to tell you. I can get there by 11, maybe 10:30, maybe, if you're okay with me showing up 3 minutes beforehand, not the whole get there a half hour early. That's the other thing. I ain't that guy either. The whole get there a half hour before your appointment. No, you're not Tom Coughlin. All right. I'm sorry.
It's funny, I am. And David, you're doing it the right way. I'm just telling you right now, this is not an argument. This is factual. But for whatever reason, I try to be early for everything. I really do. I'm always early for tea times. I'm early. The one thing I'm probably the latest to is showing up here in the morning. David's way ahead of me. Again, he's got a shorter walk. Not that my commute's long.
Right.
But I always get there early with the feeling that if I get there early, they'll get me in early. And do you know what? They never do.
Sometimes. No.
Sometimes. But usually a 10 o'clock appointment at a doctor's office means, 10:15, 10:20. And when you're there at 9:30, you start getting a little annoyed.
Exactly. Okay. Besides, the appointment's at 10. When do I have to be there again? 9:30. No, it says 10. So yes, I was that kid, by the way. My mother always said there was AM, PM, and DM time. Okay.
That's pretty good.
So apparently I've been this way for a very long time. But
the one thing that's hard on me, the hardest of all things, is going to be missing my daughter. And last night I go tuck her in bed and I give her a hug and I said, this is the last one of these for a while. And she cried a little bit, and I did too. And so we talked for a second, and I said, do you want me to get you up a little early tomorrow morning? Because I always wake her up at 5:30. That's the time that she gets up and starts getting ready for school. I said, do you want me to get you up a couple minutes early so we can spend a couple minutes together? She looked me dead in the eye, and she said, no, Dad, I want to.
I mean, I love you.
But I want those 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes are important, Dad. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm a proud daddy's girl and all, but no, I'll take the sleep.
That's I need the 5 minutes, okay? Just leave me the hell alone.
There we go.
And as a kid who told my mother for all those years, 5 more minutes, Mom, I did. There was no other questions. I didn't try. I went, okay, all right, I got you.
That's where you wish your mother could have seen that live, and she would have gone, oh, yeah, been there. Yep, been there.
Yep. System took a beating last night, kids.
By a half a point, too.
By a half a point.
We've lost 2 system plays in the last few days by a half a point, man. We're dangerously close to being perfect outside of
on the other side of things, and we kind of told you this was coming.
Yeah.
The Gators lost a bad game. South Carolina, not a very good team, and Florida went in there and whooped them.
Well,
I mean, holy Toledo.
You knew it was going to happen because the coach said they're not worthy of wearing the uniforms, and I'm going to run them like dogs. And you just knew they were going to go into Columbia, South Carolina, and put a whooping on them. And boy, did they put a whooping on them.
One other little college basketball note. Happened to see this video yesterday. and I apologize, I don't remember which athletic writer did it, but one of the college basketball writers for The Athletic did it. The famous Bobby Knight tirade, where it's like 73 F-bombs in 90 seconds. We've all heard it. I'm so sick of losing to blank in Purdue.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah.
And so this guy, one, interviewed 40 former Indiana players and staff members, and what he wanted to find out is who recorded the damn thing. Because the one unknown about that is nobody knows, one, who recorded it, and two, how it got out.
And this is mid-'80s, too.
Right. This is the locker room sacred. This is before Ben Johnson saying F the Packers, okay?
Yeah, and before you could just take out your phone and hit a button.
Right. You needed a tape recorder.
Yes, you did.
And the players, to a man, were so happy that it was leaked, so that the world basically had an idea of what it was they went through. But whoever leaked it, if it was one of them, didn't admit to it. Not one of them knew how it got out there. All were ecstatic that it got out there. But as the gentleman who did the video finishes, it remains one of the great mysteries in sports. Because if you haven't heard it, as long as you're comfortable with some colorful language, it is worth the listen. Because Bobby Knight goes nuts. I mean nuts at his team.
And it's ironic because he ends up being really good friends with Gene Katie at Purdue, but that's what we screaming about it then. I am not going to lose another game to Purdue. Yep. Miller and Moulton. A lot went on yesterday. Some layers to it as well. Starting 5 next.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Hey, football fans, Jimmy the Beef Guy here. This is coming up fast. Wait, did you just beat me? You mean I can't say soup? Whatever. So, guys, if you're having a football party, don't wait till last minute. Remember, guys, our beef packages come with the beef, the gravy, the bread, the peppers. All you have to do is heat and serve. So call me now or stop in one of our 2 locations in Bonita Springs or Fort Myers. And again, guys, please don't wait till last minute, man. Put your orders in now.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah, I've got no sound for you today, David. Nothing. I will say I still have the McDaniel sound up from the presser if we wanted, because we didn't get to it yet. We had that Belichick stuff. And I've got McCarthy, the presser, where he gets pretty emotional if we wanted to go coaches today. You have any thoughts on a poll question? Ooh, we could force you to do it on Miller and Moulton X site.
Oh, jeez.
I've never done one from my phone. I don't think it's very difficult.
Do you want to do something with Koepka and or Patrick Reed leaving LIV? Do you want to do something with there's 2 head coaching jobs left? Which one would you rather have, Vegas or Arizona?
I would. I don't think people care about Vegas or Arizona.
No,
That's my problem.
I don't disagree.
And the Koepka Reed one, I don't know what the question is. I mean, are you, by the way, I mean, I guess Reed doesn't get the same. I know he doesn't move the needle as much as Koepka. I would argue he moves it more than a lot of other guys.
By the way, he's eligible to be added to the President's Cup team this fall. I said it 2 days ago. I'd bring Captain America back into the fold. He's a really good player, and he is an MFer match play.
Yeah, Patrick Reed's good for golf. You need a black hat. He's comfortable wearing it. We all watched LeBron not be comfortable with the heat, not like the black hat.
Do you want to ask, is Adam Vinatieri a Hall of Famer? Because he's on the ballot.
It's not his first year though, is it?
I believe it is. It's Breeze, Larry Fitz, and Vinatieri, I believe, are first timers.
Oh, Johnny Mac. Yesterday on my laptop here, I logged on to Peacock, I logged on to Netflix, I logged on to ESPN Plus, I logged on to HBO. I had to make sure everything was working on the laptop before I head up. There are important things out there, and then there are important things.
Do you want to ask? A buddy of mine just suggested, do you like the week off before the Super Bowl?
Ooh, you know what? I like that one.
Okay.
Is the week off still necessary?
So that also you can make your party plans and what you're going to do and, get into the games. Most of us don't have a rooting interest in the game. You kind of psych yourself up to various degrees. The other thing I do like about it is that in theory, more people will play in the game with more time to rest.
Do you like the 2 weeks between championship week and the Super Bowl is how I worded it for the record.
Yes, need time to plan. B, no, let's play.
I just put yes and no comma a week is enough.
Okay.
And it is up. Who's he gotten closer with, Sonny? Because I haven't seen that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I guess maybe his, live team, but that lasted until the contract was up. So I'm not denying what you're saying, but give me some examples because I've not seen that he's really close with guys.
I was going to say, just because he claims he's gotten closer with guys, I mean,
Yes, there was Edie, wasn't there 1 year they did it in a week?
There's been a couple. I mean,
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Whit Watson to join us in a little more than an hour. We got some golf to talk about. Don't know if you've been paying attention. We got a lot going on in the golf world. We'll get to it here momentarily. And we'll head to Milwaukee. Looks as if Giannis is finally ready to leave the Bucks. So the auction is underway. We'll go to Milwaukee and see whether or not the folks there are okay with it, or are they going to hold it against him that he's finally said, yeah, get my blankety blank out of here. So, time now for
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is the Starting Five.
brought to you by Lee County, Florida. Building a better community through business, sports, and tourism. BST, ladies and gentlemen, is the key in life. BST, business, sports, and tourism. So the Browns hired a new coach yesterday. This is how it went down. And I don't know how many organizations could pull this off. So the Browns front office, Mark, wanted the young Rams assistant, Nate Schilhaas. He's their passing game coordinator. That's who they wanted. But he didn't want to keep defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz. And the owner, Jimmy Haslam, wanted to keep Jim Schwartz. So Haslam put the kibosh on the young passing game coordinator. And he then could have hired Schwartz to be his head coach. But he didn't want Mark to be his head coach. He just wanted him to be around as a defensive coordinator. The front office said to the owner, well, if you want to keep him, let's just hire him as head coach. He goes, no. Here's what I want you to do. Get Todd Monken, who was with Harbaugh in Baltimore. Get him to agree to keep Schwartz as defensive coordinator and then hire Monken as head coach. And so they went to Monken and he said, yeah, I'll keep him around. Okay, Todd Monken's your new head coach. Except that Jimmy Schwartz doesn't want to stick around and work for Todd Monken. He's like, blank that. His job should be mine. So he cleaned out his office yesterday, said goodbye to people, and he said, I'm gone.
Yeah, I'm not interested in being this guy's DC.
Right.
Which, we talked to Andy Baskin. Most people felt that Schwartz should have been getting the head coaching job. That defense has been terrific. It's not been his fault that they've been so bad.
And now also it may open up the fact apparently Myles Garrett and Jimmy Schwartz were tight. We talked about it earlier in the week. Myles' long-term future in Cleveland. What do you think? Where are you putting your money? So anyway, Todd Monken is the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Now here's what's interesting. Monken had a staff in Baltimore. The word was Monken wasn't going to get the Cleveland job, and therefore he was going to be the offensive coordinator of the Giants and bring basically the whole staff with him. Well, now you got John Harbaugh in New York scrambling for an offensive coordinator, and there's some of those coaches on the staff that he wants, but Monken's offering them jobs. So it'll be interesting to see how many of those guys follow Monken to Cleveland or are going to follow Harbaugh to New York but not know who the coordinator is. So
will one of them who, was with Moncton going to now get the coordinator job for Harbaugh?
Well, and the Giants reportedly are interviewing like 9 different people. I think it's going to come down to one of 2 guys. Davis Webb, the quarterback coach in Denver, who the Giants originally drafted, who Joe Shane has experience with, okay? Or don't rule out Charlie Weiss Jr. He was with Jackson Dart for 3 years at Ole Miss. They're tight. And Charlie Weiss Jr. came off really well in the last 6 weeks in the whole Ole Miss playoff run. Just saying. More Hall of Fame news. Apparently Eli Manning being passed over. So that's 0 for 2 for Eli. Drew Brees, Larry Fitz, Adam Vinatieri, they're all on the ballot, and they're all expected to get in. So Wink Martindale was told that he was going to be the defensive coordinator of the Jets. He apparently put a staff together. He flew into Jersey for a final meeting with Aaron Glenn. They're going to put pen to paper, only for Glenn to say, well, listen, I still want you to be DC, but I'm going to call the defense. And Wink went, hell no. That's not how I work. You know that. What the heck? What's going on? This isn't what we talked about. So Wink told them to shove it. And so now Aaron Glenn went out and hired this Dolphins assistant, Brian Duker, to technically be defensive coordinator. But Glenn's going to call the defense. Listen, you and I all wanted this Aaron Glenn thing to work out. This has been a debacle.
Debacle, David.
Debacle.
He's
wow.
This is not. I mean, it's
No.
early on. Could it be fixed? Of course, but it doesn't look like it's going to be because he doesn't look organized.
Well, and they don't have a quarterback. And now he's got 9 new coaches on staff. Whew. All right, to golf. Remember, a couple weeks ago, Brooks Koepka left LIV. Still had a year left on his contract. Asked out, and they said, yeah, good luck. So Koepka back on the PGA Tour. In fact, he's back today. He's in San Diego at the Farmers Insurance Open. Also, for the first time in 20 years, ESPN is televising regular PGA Tour action, not ESPN Plus, ESPN. It's been 20 years since the PGA Tour has been on ESPN, not the Masters. We're talking a PGA Tour event.
We're talking
anyway.
PGA Tour, not the Masters.
We're not talking practice.
Sorry.
Anyway, so you know who's going to join Koepka back on the PGA Tour? Not for another 7 months. Patrick Reed. Reed, when he won the DP World Tour event in Dubai last week, said, yeah, my contract's up. I'm a free agent. Well, yesterday made it official. He's left LIV and he's back with the PGA Tour. They said he's ineligible till late August. Basically, he misses the whole year. He's eligible for the FedEx Cup playoffs. Now, Reed can play in DP World Tour events, and he also can play in PGA Tour events where either he open qualifies or he gets exemptions. Mark, if you had, 4 sponsors exemptions and Patrick Reed wanted them, would you give it to him?
Yes.
I would
Yeah,
also.
Paige Brown would get one and Patrick Reed would get one every time.
So Patrick Reed back on the PGA Tour officially in 7 months, but he has ways to earn points. Here's another thing. You finish top 10 on the DP World Tour, you earn your card on the PGA Tour. So Reed, who right now is planning on using like a career exemption for next season, wouldn't have to use it. He could actually earn his card.
By the way, this allows all the other live guys whose contracts are expiring an avenue to get back on the tour and earn money on the year that they're suspended. The Hattons, the guys that haven't won majors that weren't throwing the olive branch.
Right.
So, I mean, I'd let him back on the tour immediately because I would try to crush live. But at least there's a way for these guys to get tour status quickly.
NBA, 9 games last night. Orlando went into Miami, got 31-12 from Paolo and beat the Heat 133-124. Knicks blew out Toronto in Toronto. And that's with
win
Brunson.
for the Knicks.
It was a great win for the Knicks because Brunson was sick and didn't play the whole second half. And the Knicks beat the Raptors by 27. They had an emotional LeBron video. They showed that 25-point deluge back in 2007 when he single-handedly took out the Pistons and put Cleveland in the finals for the first time during the first stoppage of play. And LeBron, they had never done that for LeBron before. They had showed like Game 7 of the finals and what have you, but they went old school with LeBron. And LeBron got emotional watching the video. Cleveland then whooped up on the Lakers by 30. Pacers down 14 in the fourth, rallied to beat the Bulls, 113-110. Atlanta got pounded by Boston a few days ago. They came back and beat the Celtics, 117-106. Charlotte won their 20th game of the year. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's more than they won all of last year, and they still have 34 games left to play. Charlotte beat Memphis by 15 on the road. T-Wolves got 31 from John Randall in a 118-105 win over Dallas. The Warriors hit 23 threes. That's a lot even for them. They beat Utah by 16.
Utah doesn't know how to play defense. I think they're the worst defensive team in the league. Everybody lights them up.
Well, they gave up a smooth $140 last night to the Warriors. And, Wemby's not bad. And by not bad, I'm saying 28 points, 16 rebounds, 5 blocks against Houston on the road in a 111-99 Spurs win.
It's two good teams in the West right there. Might be the second and third best teams in that conference.
And I think KD has now moved up to 6th on the all-time scoring list. 6th. I still ask the question, what uniform does he go into the hall with? Now, they don't
an all-star jersey.
Giannis has reportedly said to Milwaukee, it's okay to trade me. The trade deadline is a week from today at 3 p.m. College hoop. St. John's bombed Butler at the Garden, 92-70. But they didn't bomb Butler the way the Gators bombed South Carolina. Florida shot 62%, won the battle on the boards by 21. They went into Columbia and won by 47. 95-48. And Houston, that outstanding freshman, Flemings, he had 27. They covered against TCU 79-70. Other games, Florida State nearly blew a big halftime lead, but they held off Cal by 2. The Canes are 17-4. They beat Stanford 79-70. South Florida's got it going on. They're in second place in the American. They went to Tulane and won 97-83. And Auburn's getting it together, folks. After beating the Gators on the road, they beat Texas at home last night, 88-82.
The Badgers, by the way, did you see that one? Down 18 at the half. Scored 50 in the second half to beat Minnesota by 4.
The Islanders have made a couple deals lately. One of them was to get their hands on Andres Palat. He had a goal and assist last night. Islanders beat the Rangers 5-2. Rangers have put Artemi Panarin on the shelf. They basically said, you're never going to play another game for us. We're going to try to trade you before the Olympic break, which is next Wednesday. But if not, we'll trade you coming out of the break. Columbus is 7-1 in their last 8. They beat Philly 5-3. And the Avs have lost 3 of 4. Ottawa beat Colorado 5-2. Sabalenka, the top seed, is in the women's final, and it's undetermined who she's going to play because Jessica Pegula, after losing the first set and with Rybakina serving for the match, broke Rybakina. They are 6-5 on serve, late second set. Winner to face Sabalenka in the women's final down under on Saturday. Pegula's 31 years old, has never won a major, has only made one Grand Slam final, in fact, despite being a perennial top 10 player in the world this whole decade.
This is when she loses. I mean, she gets to the semis or
Right.
and gets
Quarters
bounced.
to the semis, yes.
Right.
So 7 minutes before the hour. That was the starting 5. 5 big stories you need to know, brought to you by Lee County, Florida. And they are building a better community with a simple formula of BST, business, sports, and tourism.
I had no idea when they sent that line over how much action they were going to get from one David Moulton out of BST.
Hey, just trying to brand it for them.
Not BTO.
No, not BLT.
Right.
No.
BST.
BST.
Miller and Moulton, Whit Watson and Mitch Nelles coming up in the 8 o'clock hour.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
For
sound.
22 years, we've been more than just a jewelry store. We're your neighbors at the Diamond District.
From custom design and expert repairs to gold buying, appraisals, and spa treatments for your jewelry. We do it all right here in the store.
Whether you're creating something new or bringing new life to a family heirloom,
Our team handles every piece with care, craft, and experience.
22 years of dedicated service only at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local glass doctor home and business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
By the way, that video you said yesterday was hysterical.
Oh, my goodness.
Also, by the way, for my Southwest Florida listeners, hang on, I got to get the proper name of the place. Found a little pizza joint in Estero. Mr. Cassio gave me this, and I don't always trust John when it comes to food.
I can see why.
But Mama Anna Trattoria. It is by where the theater in the Gulf Coast or the Coconut Point Mall was. It's right in that same little quadrant. Very good pizza. They say that their pasta's better. I mean, it is a family-run business. The two sons of Mama are the waiters. Mom speaks Italian to them. They get their buffalo mozzarella flown in from Italy. It's really good. The pizza's New York style, really thin, good oven, good crisp to it. It was good. I don't think the pizza's as good as Rico's, but it's a sit-down joint. I would take it over Little Sicily every day. Very good service, very nice people. May have had the loudest son of a gun next to me at the bar last night because that's the 2 seats we got. Holy crap. I mean, it was hard to hear my wife. He really wanted everybody in the restaurant to hear every word he said. And his wife was not talking loudly. I mean, he was on 11. She was on 4.
Was he interesting or no?
No.
Oh, of course not.
But he wanted everybody to know how great it was. And it's like, dude, I don't want to talk to you. I really don't. I know when I'm sitting at the bar, I'm obligated to have to listen to anybody. But when my back is to you the entire time and you're sitting next to me, I'm not at all welcoming conversation. How you sit at the bar welcomes conversation.
Totally.
Or dismisses it.
I have to admit, I think
Mama Anna, Paula, it's literally it's literally where the theater was in Coconut Point, that back little corridor, if you will. It's on the north side of the theater, but in that same little U in Coconut Point Mall.
Huh.
Mama Anna. Mama Anna was there. She is the typical Italian lady. A little bit of the bowling ball look, a little bit of, facial hair, but you know what I mean.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Thursday, the final one of January. Mark's final show for a while. He's got carte blanche. He can, zip in whenever he wants for as long or as short as he wants. He's toying with a couple of things. He's got to find out the lay of the land there at Moffitt. What's allowed, what's not allowed. What's not allowed, but he can get away with breaking the rules and they won't yell at him too badly. I mean, let's face it, that's the gray area for Miller and Moulton. We always know what's allowed and what's not allowed. That's not enough for us. We have to figure out, okay, we're gonna violate some rules here, but how far can we go? And that's really the key for you over the next few weeks is, how far can you push that proverbial envelope?
Right, because, the doctors come in when they come in. What you can't do is piss off the nurses.
Totally.
You cannot piss off the nurses, and that's what I've got to figure out. That's what I will use Sunday and Monday for.
Okay.
If Tuesday I'm on the air, it's that I've got permission from the nurses.
Right. And listen, I'm just going to get a text. I'm going to get a text from Mark that says, "Hey, I'm doing the first 2 hours of Mark." Okay, all right. So you're bringing equipment, right?
Yeah, I mean, I use a computer you have more things that you bring to do this,
right?
And there's part of me that wants to buy you the microphone I use so you have less stuff to bring. I'm being serious.
No, and I think for next football season, I'm going to. I would like to bring less stuff with me on the road.
Yeah.
The bag is getting quite heavy.
I got you. And so I think, I figured out how to do this with just my laptop and a pretty good podcast microphone. So, and they're not that expensive because, David and I spent a great deal of money to build the studio that I once had in my home. David has a studio quality microphone
somewhere.
if you're watching the show, he's using 12-year-old headsets that barely survive.
And fortunately, I have a backup pair. So if in case, the Obama headsets break, I can, transition to the first Trump administration headsets. I mean, eventually I will catch up. I mean, we all know it won't be till the 2030s, but eventually I will catch up.
But literally, they're somewhere in David's new condo in Jacksonville.
Yes, they are.
An $800 microphone.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's beautiful. Yep. I know exactly what it looks
Basically
like.
the same one I'm using, maybe probably better than the one I'm using. Because if it's in this studio, the one we bought's newer.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
That was a shot. I can't help it.
I mean, I think only KDKA in Pittsburgh has older studios than where we've done shows from. That is for sure. But
so how surprised, I don't know if surprise is the right word. One, just all of the information we're getting about Hall of Fame guys that aren't getting in, the Hall of Fame making a statement about people going to get their votes taken away. We have no idea what for. And then the Hall confirming that Bill Polian did indeed vote for Belichick when he couldn't remember whether or not he did just 2 days ago. And the Hall doesn't like it when people release their votes. I mean, this has been bizarro world for the Hall of Fame. And I think for the longest time, David, at least I did, I always held the Pro Football Hall of Fame in the most regard of the Halls of Fame. They've looked lousy the past couple of days.
Well, and we've mentioned this before. In the very late 90s, there was a growing groundswell to keep Lawrence Taylor out of the Hall of Fame the very first time that he was eligible. And Commissioner Paul Tagliabue, the day before the voting, because LT obviously was a finalist, and at that point in time, the Super Bowl would be on Sunday. The Hall of Fame vote would be released the night before the Super Bowl, right around dinner time, and the voting would take place all day that day. But the day before, on that Friday before the Super Bowl, the commissioner would hold his State of the Union, State of the State of the NFL. And Tagliabue went out of his way to tell everybody who in the next 24 hours was going to vote, listen, we vote for what they do on the field. We're not baseball. Now, you can say we should be baseball. You could say we should take things into consideration. But if you're debating whether or not Lawrence Taylor's a Hall of Famer, the only thing you're allowed to take under consideration is what kind of a player he was, not what kind of a person he is. And at which point, obviously, LT went in unanimously because he's one of the three greatest defensive players of all time. So there was a time, and I don't recall a time since, Mark, where those involved in the NFL sensed that something was coming with the Hall of Fame, and someone in position of authority, the head of the Hall, the commissioner, somebody said, hey, need to clear something up here before you guys vote. Because don't you think whether it would go as high as Goodell or it would at least go to the folks running the hall, that they would have publicly or privately, they would have had a moment and they would have said, you guys aren't really thinking about doing this, are you? Do you know how bad a look this is going to be? We can't sell this. I don't even care if it's principled. If you want to sell Spygate, I don't know what to tell you. We can't sell this to the general public. This is a bad look for us.
But the Hall statement yesterday wasn't like what Tagliabue did. The Hall statement was very vague. They said each year the Hall reviews the selection process and the composition of the 50-person selection committee. If it is determined that any members violated the selection process bylaws, they understand action will be taken. That could include the possibility that such selectors would not remain a member of the committee moving forward. The selection of a new class is the most important duty of the Hall of Fame. It is the most important duty the Hall of Fame oversees each year, and the integrity of that process cannot be in question. So what are they saying? That if they lobbied for Spygate, that breaks the rules? Because it really doesn't. There's been lobbying going on in that room for a long time. Are they saying the people that are leaking this information are in violation of the bylaws? That's what I think they're saying, David.
I do too. I think they're saying this isn't supposed to be happening. This is supposed to be a secret. We're supposed to find out, what is it, Wednesday, Thursday of next week?
I think the Thursday or whenever the knock, and I don't know who's doing. Bill Baker did it for the longest time, who ran the Hall. What a super guy. When he was running the Arena Football League, we had him on the air, and he was terrific. A terrific guy. But I think they're talking to the anonymous selectors who have leaked information, David. That's what I think's going on. Because they want their video, they want that phone call, they want that surprise for the people that are getting in, and I don't think they like that members of their committee are leaking out information that, quite frankly, is not supposed to get out there.
Here are the 50 people, and I'm sorry if this bores you, and I know we only got about 3 minutes. Kent Summers, he's retired with the Arizona Republic. Daryl Ledbetter from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Scott Garso from 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore. Vic Carucci, who's been a voter for a long time. Darren Gant, he represents the Panthers. Dan Pompey of The Athletic. Jeff Hobson of Bengals.com. Tony Grossi, an icon in the Cleveland scene. Rick Gosselin. Jeff Legwald of ESPN.com. Dave Burkett, who we've had on from the Detroit Free Press. Pete Doherty from the Green Bay Press Gazette. John McClain in Houston. Mike Chappelle in Indy. All right. Howard Balzer has been a part of this for a long time. He now represents SiriusXM Radio. Armando Seguero represents Outkick these days. Gary Myers, who we've had on the show many times, an author. Technically, he represents the Giants. Rich Samini represents the Jets. Lisa Salters, by the way, a voter. And I think that's fairly new. Bill Polian, Sal Palantonio, Alex Marvez, James Lofton, Dan Fouts, Tony Dungy, Jason Cole, who we've had on many times, still a voter representing Fansided. Paul Kaharski, Ira Kaufman. All right, Mike Sando of The Athletic. So that's
you went through that list. We've had a lot of those folks on this show.
Yes, we have
over the years. We've had a lot of the voters on.
But that's, Jim Trotter, who's retired. That's the other thing. Like Peter King's no longer a voter because he retired. Well, Jim Trotter's retired. Jim Trotter still has a vote. People now wondering, does this group need to be shaken up? Or do we keep these 50, but we add 20 new members? Try to get some new blood on the committee. So, anyway.
That's the thing that a lot of people in sports media, and look, they probably don't matter to all of you, but I do think, like Seth talked about yesterday, I do think most sports media people don't have agendas and just love the fact that they get to work in this industry. But there are a lot of people calling for more voters, saying that if there were more than 50, that the likelihood that this would have happened is less. They're not saying it needs to be the baseball writers where there are a gazillion, but they think there needs to be more. I've always liked the fact that it was a small room, David. I really have. I don't know if they need more voters.
Well, there's only one voter per franchise, by the way.
Right.
And then there's, a couple of members, like Calvin Watkins represents the Dallas Morning News, but he's technically associated with the Pro Football Writers. And then there's like 15, 16 at-large votes, because like Mary Kay Cabot's an at-large voter. Well, obviously she works in Cleveland, and so does Grossi, and so... there are a few people from the same city, but technically each franchise is only represented by one voter. Is 50 enough? By the way, this is the most they've ever had. A couple years ago, it was only like 47. Miller and Moulton.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com, capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 13325.
This is Miller and Moulton.
DC, I don't know, but Michael Craig now from the Star Tribune is the Vikings voter. By the way, Sonny, I just want to clear something up. You said that TCU covered last night. No, they didn't. They were getting 7.5. They lost by 9.
And I had them getting 8.5, but
yeah, and that's why our system went 0-2 last night. So there was no place where they were getting 9 or more. So I think Mom is maybe in South Carolina right now, probably approaching the Georgia border.
EB, I'm at Moffitt Cancer Center. It's on Magnolia. There's 3 campuses. I'm on the Magnolia campus. I don't even know what the address is myself, to be honest with you. Could drive there blindly, but I don't know what the address is.
Mark at millerandmoulton.com, by the way, if you want to
I
contact
got to figure
Mark.
out the address and send it back. Google.com, by the way. Oh, sorry.
By the way, we talked about that voting process yesterday, that the guy from Yahoo, okay, Fly Panda Fly, we talked about a Yahoo writer who said that he thinks some of the votes may be because of the change in the process. And
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Whit Watson at the top of the hour. Got a lot going on in golf. And we got Brooks Koepka back on the PGA Tour beginning today. Heck, we got the PGA Tour on ESPN. That hasn't happened in 20 years. Beginning today.
Heck, I'm in a fantasy golf league. That hasn't happened ever.
Wow. Was that a weak moment? Did you lose a bet? What's that all about?
I was in a pick'em league with some guys that I play golf with, and the guy who runs it does a spectacular job of the weekly write-ups. I mean, it's amazing what you can do with your time when you're retired, David, because he puts a lot of effort into these write-ups. They were hysterical. And I won 1 week. And so that basically would pay half the entry for the golf. And I'm like, keep that. Here's the other half. I'll do the golf.
All right.
And I didn't realize, you and I follow golf.
Yes.
And there's so many players on tour that I have no clue who they are. Because the way this is set up, you pick like 2 A group guys, 2 B group guys, and a C group guy. When you're in the C, unless it's our buddy Frankie Sappin or Eric Cole, who I had last week, because he played, and he's played well. I knew who he was, but he actually played in what was the Becks and then the Yingling, and now that tournament's gone, which just sucks. But, a couple guys that I've actually know. You get down in the 120s there in some of these events. It's why, to me, the Blades Browns, that's why he'd be on my exempt list as many times as I could get him out there. He's making a name for himself.
So it's funny that you bring that up as to how different the makeup of the tour is. Koepka's been gone 3.5 years. And Koepka's, I will say, he seemed a little more humble than he normally comes across when he's doing his media obligations. He talked about it. He's going to be nervous. He doesn't know what to expect. He understands some people are not going to welcome him back. He gets it. But he said, I know it doesn't seem like a long time. There's a lot of people out here. I don't know who they are. He goes, I've never played with them. I don't know their names. And he goes, no, I mean, do you necessarily have to know who you're playing with? I'm not someone who's overly chatty when I play. It's not important that I yuck it up during the round. He goes, but, if I'm going to try to be out on tour now, get back on tour, he said, usually you try to get to know everybody. And he goes, yeah, there's a lot more people I don't know than I know. And he said, and I've only been gone 3+ years, which I thought that was interesting.
Well, I mean, obviously Liv has what? 54 players?
54.
54 players on Liv. So that was mostly tour guys that left. Not all, but and the guys that were his peers. He's a little bit older. Most of the guys that left were a little bit older. You think about the 4 years you're gone. Well, guys have moved on to the senior tour when he first started, or are in their 40s and aren't playing or have not kept their cards. It's a whole new breed of golfer out there. It is. So
So somebody released this yesterday. They're a golf guy. And they said, well, obviously LIV has lost Koepka and Patrick Reed. But then he goes on to talk about all the golfers that have been added to LIV. And I'm just curious, how many people think they've added anybody? Now, they're not the biggest names in the world. Obviously, a couple of them are really young golfers, like that Michael Lasasso kid who won the NCAA championship and is 21 years old. But, there are some golfers that if you've paid attention to the tour, these names do ring a bell. Thomas Detry, Elvis Smiley, Laurie Cantor, all right? Scott Vincent, all right? Some of these guys have contended in big tournaments before. Some of them have been on, okay? Some of them have actually won something before. So
two of those names, I'm not even joking, David. 2 of the 5 you gave me, I recognized.
Okay. All right.
Now, I thought I paid a little bit of attention to this tour.
Now,
Detry, I know. Ben On, I know. The other 3, yeah, you could line them up and I wouldn't know who they were.
Well,
I had a better chance of recognizing Davis Webb, and I thought he was on tour, not going to be the next OC for the Giants.
Right, as opposed to Davis Love III.
Right.
Or Davis Riley. But now I will say, besides the fact that I am a goober, but I did golf research for a half dozen years for, a couple different networks and tournaments. So I had to research every golfer in the field. So it's probably true that those names ring a bell with me more than they would most people, because I've literally researched them, looked them up, put cards together as to their bios, etc., for Joe Buck. So anyway, but Whit Watson at the top of the hour, we'll talk a little golf, and I'll be curious. Not much going on this week. Sunday night, you got the hockey game in Tampa. How many of you are going to watch? I wish you watched last Saturday. College hoops was amazing. But how many of you are going to watch college hoops for the first time? Last weekend in January. Last day in January, really, because Sunday's February 1st. So, that'll probably be tomorrow's poll question, Mark. What are you watching? First weekend in a long time without football.
All right. If that's the poll question, great. I like it. Good idea. I'm not going to be on the show tomorrow. I may put a second poll question out later today. And that poll question is, the show begins at 6 a.m. At what time will David get the poll question up?
It'll either be 5:13 a.m. or 7:40.
Or 10:01. When he texted me and said, can you please put this poll question up?
Or actually, we didn't have a poll question today. Can you make sure that I can get one up on Monday? Boom.
So, yeah, you're right. I will say, college hoop-wise, a couple of ranked teams playing today. Illinois seems to have their act together. Michigan State on Friday. And then, Saturday, decent slate of action. BYU and Kansas. We talked about Arizona starting their gauntlet. The Big 12, the Big 10 seems pretty top-heavy. You've got Michigan State, Nebraska, Purdue, Illinois, all ranked in the top 12, 13 in the country. The Big 12, not as many up top, but a pretty deep conference again, with Houston, Arizona, Kansas, Texas Tech, BYU. So,
is Michigan State on Big Fox?
Yes, it is.
Thank goodness. Because, I was old guy Eastwood on the porch earlier in the week when Nebraska-Michigan was on Peacock. And I have Peacock, and I still refuse to take the time and switch over to it. I'm like, no.
It was actually on that NBC Sports. I'm trying to figure out, because
I don't know where it is.
And this is guy that streams versus guy that doesn't. And it just pops up on my screen. I don't have to find that it's on channel 247 or whatever the case may be. It just, here it is. But it is kind of annoying if you've paid for Peacock and this NBC Sports channel's come out and is basically showing everything that was supposed to be Peacock exclusive. Like, what am I paying for again? Why do I have to pay $15 a month for this?
Agreed. By the way, Jessica Pegula got beat in a second set tiebreaker. She had a set point. So it's the top seed Sabalenka, who's won this event twice, against the 5 seed Rybakina. By the way, I believe that's 2 Russians. For the heck of it, I believe in the one semifinal, Mark, it was a Russian against a Ukrainian. And the Australian Open, near the end of the match, put a sign up on the screen that said the players will not be shaking hands afterwards. Basically, don't give them a hard time. And needless to say, we can understand why they may not be shaking hands afterwards. Miller and Moulton. Whit Watson in a half hour. Mitch Nelles in an hour. Thanks for listening.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for
Lee
details.
County Economic Development will release its 2025 annual report on February 5th at their annual meeting. It's a powerful look at our local economy, highlighting key data, emerging trends, and performance from the past year. The report covers major industries, workforce initiatives, business growth, and partnerships that drive Lee County forward. For more information about the annual meeting and the Economic Development Office, visit LeeCountyBusiness.com. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I wonder, do you think Bettman is going to quietly tell teams not to trade during the Olympic break?
I believe there's a freeze and they can't.
Okay, all right, because the trade deadline in the NHL is not until March 6th.
Yeah, I believe there's like the 3-week roster freeze that
Okay.
goes into effect next Wednesday. That's why the Rangers, with this Panarin thing, they either got to trade them by Wednesday or they can't
February
trade them.
4th. Yep, you're right, David. You are absolutely right.
So I think it's already in effect.
Yeah, the freeze is, I guess, February 4th, if I'm reading this right.
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
And my Wings have a boatload of money under the cap.
You willing to give up stuff for Panarin?
I don't want him personally.
Okay.
He's 34. I have no interest.
But as a rental, I mean, he's a free agent at the end of the year.
Right. But I read an article in The Athletic, and they broke down the players into tiers that could be traded. The Wings had what they considered 2 tier 1 guys, 2 high tier 2 guys, a low tier 2, and a tier 3, all available, plus draft picks. And none of them are on their roster right now. Not one guy's on the Wings roster. I think the Wings they've got 2 goalies, one in Grand Rapids, one at Michigan State. I think they'll move one of the goalies.
By the way, just to clear things up, I know how to get Peacock. Okay. I didn't say I didn't know it. In fact, I pay for it. I have it. Okay. But I don't know where the new NBC Sports cable channel is on my cable system.
And he may not have it on his cable system.
Yeah.
The cable system is different.
I don't have it in my head to go looking for it. Put it this way, when I flip on the guide, I've never seen it listed on the guide. So, will I spend 10 minutes and look for it? Yeah, maybe. But it's not a priority of mine.
And that's what the point is, guys. Okay? That's the point. That's not old guy. The point is to go to streaming, even for me, if I'm on ESPN Plus, to switch from hockey game A to hockey game B is a pain in the ass.
Yep. I don't like.
I mean, at least when I'm on YouTube TV, I can hold the select button and it goes back to the last thing I was watching. But to go from YouTube TV to a Peacock game, I've got to exit, open a new app, find the show, put it on. You can't do that in a commercial break the way you once could. It's not as good. I'm sorry. I stream. It's not as good.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till Whit Watson joins us at the top of the hour here on Miller and Moulton. Okay. Since this has been in the news most of the week, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Mark, I'm going to make you a voter. You can put up to 5 guys in. That's the most that can get in from the, current list of modern era players. There's 14 or 15 of them. Up to 5 of them can go. I'm not talking about the Kraft Belichick committee or anything else. We're just talking about the modern era players. Now, Breeze and Larry Fitz are first time eligible.
In and in.
Okay.
I don't even think that's
okay. So that
we're down to 3.
Right. You're down to 3. And what you're saying also is that you're not. Will be interesting if all of a sudden when I start naming names, are you going to pass on Breeze or Fitz to try to get someone in? All right. But anyway, there are 4 players who were amongst the finalists last year.
All right. Start with those.
Okay. Willie Anderson, longtime tackle, Bengals. Torrey Holt. Luke Kuechly. Adam Vinatieri.
I'm no on Vinatieri.
Okay.
It's a kicker thing. I have trouble putting a kicker in front of, and he may be the best and certainly the most clutch kicker that's ever played.
But
if kickers are worthy, he's definitely worthy. I have trouble putting a kicker in ahead of other players. Just explaining.
Right. And so that makes sense, by the way. I don't think you're going to be alone in that thinking that they're actually going to prioritize. We've talked about it now for 15 years. Log jams at positions. We've got a big wide receiver log jam again here for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. One of them was the aforementioned Torrey Holt. Okay, I'm just curious. It's not an official vote. This is kind of like, you're doing the claret jug here, the soft imprint. Are you leaning yes on either Willie Anderson, Torrey Holt, or Luke Kuechly?
All right, this is where, and I don't know if you have it. I'm going to try to get it quickly because I don't know the Will Anderson, stats, if you will, how many times he was a first team All-Pro,
right?
Things like that. And I don't, you know this, we've done this before. When it comes to linemen, I really struggle. I don't think I'm anywhere near close enough of an expert to give really valid opinions on linemen. I know he's really good. I don't know what the numbers are that say he gets in.
Yeah, okay. So take that then as a no. That to me, like with Breeze and Larry Fitz, you were like yes and yes. Is there anybody else that I just mentioned in which you're like, oh, absolutely yes? Okay. Or are you like,
I think Torrey Holt's got to get in, David.
Okay. So let's put Torrey Holt then to the side.
Okay.
We got 2 in, 1 pending. Okay. You're not doing it with Luke Kuechly, though, just for the record.
I know. I mean, that's the other one. I mean, Kuechly's right there. Like Kuechly, can we put him to the side? Because he makes my short list.
So fine. So now Holt and Kuechly are on the side. We're at 2. If this were hockey, Mark, we're at 2-0-2.
Okay. I like it.
We're in overtime or a shootout with Kuechly and Holt. Okay. Frank Gore.
I mean, what is he? He's like 5th all time on the rushing list?
I think he's 3rd.
3rd?
16
They're
years
definitely
of running
Hall
back.
of Fame numbers, and running backs aren't going to go in the way they once did. There are a few guys, we know who they are.
I think he's got 14,000 rushing yards. I'm pretty sure he's 3rd all time.
I think Frank Gore's a Hall of Famer.
Okay, but are we putting him in, or are you putting him on the side?
Put him on the side for now.
Okay, so you're a tough voter here. All right. By the way, were you a yes on Eli? Remember, he's on the ballot. Now, apparently he didn't get enough votes, but that doesn't mean you didn't vote for him. Okay, were you a yes on Eli, or were you going to push Eli to the side?
I'm going to push Eli to the side because the other 3 people I mentioned are Hall of Famers before Eli Manning. The other 3 that I've put, in fact, I'll put Eli as a no simply because the 3 people I have on the side get into me before Eli does.
Fair enough. Okay.
By the way, Willie Anderson, 3-time first-team All-Pro, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I mean,
really good player.
And that's the key. The Pro Bowl doesn't mean a damn thing. First-team All-Pro does.
Terrell Suggs.
That's a Hall of Famer, David.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it?
He's getting my vote.
Okay, that's 3. Just so you know.
I am aware.
That's 3.
I'm aware.
Reggie Wayne.
Holy crap. Reggie Wayne or Torrey Holt. Wow. And we do this every year. This is hard.
This is the wide receiver backlog. Larry Fitz is going to get in. Okay, good. But then you've got Holt and Reggie Wayne who are standing there with their hands raised going, really? Not me?
I'm going to pass on Reggie Wayne.
Oof. Wow. Ow. Okay.
I know.
Okay. Jason Witten.
That's a no for me.
Fair enough. Darren Woodson.
Also a no for me.
And then the rest, interior linemen on both sides of the ball. And, you've said that's not really my area. The Marshall Yandas of the world, the Kevin Williams of the world,
I would go Breeze, Fitz, Gore, Suggs.
That's 4.
I know.
Okay. So on the
And
side right now,
I'm torn between Kuechly and Holt.
I was going to say you have 2 wide receivers and Luke Kuechly that are on the side.
I think I'd go Kuechly.
So you think right now your 5 votes would be Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Frank Gore, Luke Kuechly,
And Suggs.
and Terrell Suggs, leaving out both Holt and Wayne. I mean, that's how convoluted this is. This to me, by the way, it's why I can see Eli being 0 for 2. I mean, who did you think was a better player? And it's tough to compare positions. We all get that. But, was Eli a better quarterback than Terrell Suggs was an end? Was Eli a better quarterback than the 2 wide receivers? Were wide receivers? Also, the NFL, for the most part, is not a numbers thing. It's not baseball. Frank Gore, however, will get in because of the numbers.
Both Holt and Wayne were first-team All-Pro once, for what it's worth. But Holt was on the all-decade team from the 2000s. Those guys usually get in. And I think he's a Hall of Famer. But you're asking me to pick between guys that I think are Hall of Fame. Like, I think Manning should get in. If you're going to put a kicker in, how do you not put Vinatieri in?
Okay, but now think of what we're going to do. Let's just say we go with your 5. We go Breeze, we go Fitz, we go Frank Gore, you're going Terrell Suggs, right?
Yes.
And then is it Kuechly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, now think about it. So now the wide receivers, Holt and Wayne, they'll be on the ballot next year. Eli will be back as a finalist probably next year. All of these linemen, by the way, all of them, Willie Anderson, Jari Evans, Marshall Yanda, Kevin Williams, they'll all be back on the ballot next year. Some of them might not even become finalists next year. Because the other thing is now, who's coming next year? How close are we to Ben? How close are we to Phillip Rivers? Oh, he just started his clock again. Thank goodness. Vinatieri will likely be back on it next year as a finalist. So, I mean, the 2 wide receivers and Vinatieri alone, and Eli. I mean, think about that. Never mind who else gets, it's their turn.
All these linemen that I am just taking an incomplete on. I really am. That's where I'd want to talk to someone who does that better. And that's where, if I were a voter, I'd have to be doing a lot of research with people who know. But Suggs, when I looked up the numbers, he's not an all-decade guy. He is all pros out there. Kuechly, by the way, a 5-time first-team All-Pro, a all-decade team from the 2010s. Had a Defensive Player of the Year award. I mean,
didn't he only play 7 years?
Uh-huh.
Right. Left the game before he was 30 because of concussions.
So
for what it's worth, the 2 wide receivers, Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne, this is their 7th time as a finalist.
By the way, if you were to pick one of the 2, who are you picking?
Holt or Wayne?
Yeah.
Wayne.
Wow. Okay.
Don't ask me why either.
I'm not. I pick Holt out of the 2. And that's what I do believe this is what's going on in the room, and this is what it's going to be hard for these receivers to get in, because I think you could ask 50 people in that room and you'd go 25-25.
Well, remember 10, 12 years ago when at the same time we had Tim Brown, Chris Carter, and Andre Reed, and none of them could get in? And so they just kept getting rolled over, and it was like, oh, come on. You got to pick one here, don't we? I mean, just come on. Just get behind one of the guys. Put them in. Then the next year, pick the other. Come on. I mean, we all thought they were Hall of Fame worthy, but none of them were getting the votes. So what it's worth, of the guys that we just mentioned, The two receivers have been a finalist the most. Reggie Wayne, Torrey Holt, 7 times finalists. Willie Anderson, who you mentioned, this is the 5th consecutive year he's a finalist for the Hall of Fame. Darren Woodson, by the way, this is the 4th consecutive year that he's been a finalist. Saints guard Jari Evans, 3rd consecutive year he's been a finalist. So Gore, Fitz, Kevin Williams, Jason Witten, Drew Brees, first-time finalists.
Do you think Fitz and Brees walk in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So, then we're down to 3. And what was the anniversary year of the Hall? They put in 20 guys.
2020. Right.
David and I then, when they were putting in 20, said they're going to have to do this again in 10 years.
Yep. And they said they're not.
They're not.
Nope. And we're like, wait till you do the math. Wait until you do the math.
You have 2 choices. You either put more, allow them to vote for more and put more in. And take 5 to 7. Think about this, because of the Kraft and the Belichicks used to be on this same list.
Right. Right. So there's why you can see the numbers game. And that's why, to me, I don't find it shocking. I don't find it upsetting. I don't think that Eli's being wronged. I don't. I think he's up against a tough ballot.
By the way, Belichick was wronged, just so you know. We're on the same page there, for the record.
But, obviously, Ben's a couple years away. Brady's a couple years, I think Roethlisberger goes in over Eli.
By the way, who are your 5? So if you've got those 2, who are your other 3 you're voting for? You pressed me. You were doing it in your head. I know you. You probably did this segment at home one day this week. You love the Hall of Fame. So if you're taking Fitz and Brees, who are your other 3?
I would have gone heavy on offense, which is unlike me, but I would have gone Gore and the 2 wide receivers. I would have just said, we're clearing the decks on offense. I would have put those 5 offensive guys in. I'd put a quarterback, 3 wide receivers, and a running back. I'm like, let's clear the decks here. Let's go.
And when you do that, then what happens? And I have no problem with that. But then, like this offensive lineman, these guys that have been nominated as finalists for several years, you start creating a logjam there.
Yep.
That's why, this Hall of Fame to me has always been the most reputable, because of the way that they have their process. They pissed me off yesterday. They did with Belichick. I think they screwed up. They've got a tougher task when it comes taking 15 down to 5. We'll go from the field to the course. Whit Watson to talk the PGA Tour next. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Hey, football fans, Jimmy the Beef Guy here. This is coming up fast. Wait, did you just beat me? You mean I can't say soup, whatever. So guys, if you're having a football party, don't wait till last minute. Remember guys, our beef packages come with the beef, the gravy, the bread, the peppers. All you have to do is heat and serve. So call me now or stop in one of our 2 locations in Bonita Springs or Fort Myers. And again, guys, please don't wait till last minute, man. Put your orders in now.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound. American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
For 22 years, we've been more than just a jewelry store. We're your neighbors at the Diamond District.
From custom design and expert repairs to gold buying, appraisals, and spa treatments for your jewelry, we do it all right here in the store.
Whether you're creating something new or bringing new life to a family heirloom,
our team handles every piece with care, craft, and experience.
22 years of dedicated service only at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
This is Miller and Moulton.
And David, they didn't put the full 5 in last year, right?
No, they only put 4 in.
And there's another problem because so many of these guys are worthy. It's harder to get 40 votes.
Right.
I mean, that we didn't even really bring up there.
Adam, come on.
No, not at NFL Honors. They do it separately because they love to do their videos. They go. These guys are all like what, in hotel rooms, and they get the knock on the door or whatever the case.
They changed it up, but yeah, I believe it's separate. Now, I think they may bring them out at NFL Honors because it's already been announced, but
yeah, someone text sounds like, and I answer him. Sounds like a lot of bias involved in the selection process. I don't think it's bias. I just think it's different opinions. I mean, you and I had 3 the same, and that's because we leaned heavy offense, or 4 the same. That's shocking. Hi, Whit.
Hey.
Good morning. Thanks for doing this. Just a quick reminder while we're in break, YouTube people are able to hear and see us. So we don't care what you say, but I just always let our guests know that you're basically live now.
Okay.
How are you?
Close that window behind me, or is that okay?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
it's fine.
If we start taking things that seriously, Whit, we're in trouble.
No.
It's a lovely morning behind me in Orlando.
How cold is it in Orlando? It was 41 the last time I looked in Southwest Florida.
Yeah, let's see. It's a good question.
35 in Jacks. 35 in Jacks.
It is. Oh, it's a lovely 39 in Winter Park.
Wow. Yeah. I was dumb enough to play yesterday.
Oh, forget
Only
it.
because I got a little medical issue I've got to take care of, so I'm not going to be able to play for a while. And I got guilted by my group because I mentioned on the air I think I'm bailing, and one of them called me a name. But I shouldn't have been allowed out of Muni yesterday with the clothes, with the outfit I had on, just to keep warm enough on the golf course.
No, there's always tomorrow. This is Florida. This is why we live here. There's always tomorrow.
Got that right.
You headed out to the LPGA thing?
You know, we did the show out there live last year on Saturday morning, and the location was such that there were no fans. They kind of had us put out kind of behind the clubhouse. So this year we decided not to go. I might go out there on the weekend just as a fan to kind of walk around, but not professionally, not this year. It's tough. It's a beautiful golf course, but it was never built to hold spectators. It's not a great venue to watch.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
We are halfway home on this final Thursday of January. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. We will head to Milwaukee in a little more than 30 minutes. Looks as if Giannis has given the okay to ship me wherever. We'll talk about his and the Bucks' future in about 35 minutes. But Whit Watson is kind enough to join us for the first time in 2026. He covers golf for a living. He's got a terrific golf show Saturday mornings in both Orlando and Jacksonville live. You can listen to it via the iHeartRadio app, Making the Cut. He's Whit Watson. Follow him on X at Real Whit Watson. How the heck you been?
I'm good. I'm great. This is the first time in 2026 and the first time with the live stream. It's great to talk to you guys from the home office here in Winter Park. Beautiful 39-degree morning. I'm not foolish enough, unlike Mark, to go out and play golf this week. I don't know what you were thinking. Not doing that.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, you're right. Trust me, you're right. I was scared to death all day just to hit one thin iron shot. If you know what I mean, to let that
Get it, man. That's why we live in Florida. Play tomorrow. Play next week.
All right. Brooks is back, and that's big news. And I'm of the opinion I would offer this olive branch to the Live guys going forward because I think they have an opportunity to crush that league. How do you think Brooks is going to get received this week?
Very well received. I don't think that's any question at all. Brooks, for one thing, he's a Jupiter guy, so he sees a lot of those players every week anyway. And he's also a guy's guy. I don't think he ever lost any relationships with anybody on the PGA Tour. They respect his record in major championships. They respect him as a person. They know that he's gone through some personal stuff. One of the reasons why he wanted to come back to the tour was because, for those who don't know, he and his wife lost a child late last year, and that made him stop and think about his legacy and think about what he wanted to have behind him, excuse me, when he was finished playing golf. I don't think he's going to have any trouble being received when he comes back to the PGA Tour. And most importantly, he took it to the Godfather first. He talked to Tiger Woods before he made this decision. And once you've got Tiger's blessing, all is well as far as the PGA Tour is concerned. I think he's going to be welcomed as a hero by most of the players, not all. There are going to be obviously some players that will have some resentment. And obviously the media coverage is going to be through the roof.
This may be the dumbest thing I've ever asked you, but are you surprised at the power and the influence that Tiger still has, that you basically don't think about uttering anything publicly, doing anything publicly without going and kissing the ring first? I mean, it is remarkable to me. Like, we're all old enough. We saw the reverence that the next generation had for Arnie and Jack. I mean, this is every bit that, isn't it?
For a guy, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. For a guy who's not swinging a club in competition, he sure has a lot of influence on what's going on right now in golf. And he's on all of these committees, these new competition committees and future competition committees. And how are we going to get Brooks back to the PGA Tour committee? He is wielding an incredible amount of influence on the PGA Tour's business as well as its competition. And the new CEO, Brian Rolapp, did quite well to make sure Tiger was included. And of course, why wouldn't you? I mean, he's no dummy. I mean, the first phone call you would make when you got that job would be to Tiger and say, let's sit down, tell me what I need to know, because he is the most important figure in golf, period. And you need to get him on your side if you're going to be effective as the PGA Tour's commissioner, because everybody on the tour still looks up to Tiger. No matter what age you are, you're still looking up to him and you're still looking to him for guidance. And your example of Arnold Palmer is well taken. And you go back to the days when Greg Norman floated the idea of a world golf tour. It was Palmer that said, I'm not doing that. And everybody in the room, including Lanny Watkins, said, well, if Palmer's not doing it, we're not doing it. It's a great parallel given live golf. Tiger says Brooksy's back, then Brooksy's back. It's an amazing amount of influence that Woods still wields right now.
And is that why when the olive branch was given out to a couple of guys and, one recent major champion, I don't know, what's his name again? Mickelson. Yeah, that's him. He didn't get the olive branch because, let's be honest, Phil's not going to be an impact on the tour, but we all have, the Champions event in my backyard, the Champions events all over Florida. I think for the Southwest Florida Champions event, Phil Mickelson, if he was in the event, would sell a minimum of 5,000 more tickets, probably closer to 10 over the course of the 4 days, 5 days with pro-ams, etc. But do you think he didn't get the olive branch because of Tiger?
All right, look, a conspiracy theorist would say yes. The conspiracy theorist would say that this past major champion and players champion category, the year gap they gave was precisely created to exclude Phil's PGA championship win. I think it's more a case of he is of a certain age where he's not going to be competitive on the PGA Tour anyway. If I were Rolapp, I would put out, because he has no memory. Brian Rolapp has no scar tissue on the PGA Tour. He has no business prior to this job on the PGA Tour. So he's got no grudge against Phil Mickelson. I would absolutely reach out to Mickelson and say, do you have interest in playing on the Champions Tour? What can we do to get you back over here for exactly that reason? He doubles the attendance on the Champs Tour if he comes back and plays and is serious about it. When he did play on the Champions Tour and won immediately, by the way, he brought out people in droves. I would absolutely make that call. Now, do the guys who are currently on that tour want him to come out? Are they going to be warm to him? No. I mean, Phil burned a lot of bridges when he went to live. He was very public with his commentary and took some pretty nasty side swipes at the PGA Tour, some of which were accurate, but still, he made some comments in public that you don't recover from, and he's not the kind of guy that's going to issue an apology. So I think it's more of what Phil did to himself that's keeping him away from the PGA Tour. But if I'm Rolapp, I make the phone call. I absolutely make the phone call.
I actually think the reason they didn't extend the invite is because Phil would have made him look bad by saying no. All right. Because I think Phil's got too much pride and ego to come back, even for the Champions Tour golf. Whit Watson covers golf for a living, hosts a terrific golf show Saturday mornings in Orlando and Jacksonville. It's called Making the Cut. You can listen to it and download it on the iHeartRadio app. Your thoughts on Patrick Reed? Did you see it coming? Were you hearing whispers about this? Or was basically when he held up the trophy Sunday and said, by the way, I'm not under contract, is that the first time that anybody thought,
I don't know if it was the first time anybody thought it was coming, but it was the first time I had any inkling that he wouldn't be back. We really hadn't heard very much from Patrick Reed on LIV. He, like a lot of the other players who weren't one of the top 4 or 5 guys on LIV, just kind of vanished because of the lack of weekly, week in and week out coverage. Yeah, I was a little surprised, But then again, when you think about, he's always been a very eager DP World Tour player, and he's an honorary lifetime member on that tour. He is an eager global player. Reed loves to play golf, and he never stayed away from, let's call it for our purposes, the European Tour. For those who don't know, the European Tour is sponsored by DP World. He's always been a very willing European Tour player, and so he always kind of had that avenue. He had the kind of one hand still in the pool of playing on a tour other than Live. So in that sense, it doesn't surprise me that he wanted to get back to the PGA Tour, but no, had heard nothing about this prior to the announcement. And he doesn't have to wait that long, because his last Live event was August of 25. So that means he can play on the PGA Tour in August of 26. As a non-member, he can play via a sponsor exemption. So he can play in the fall series this year, and he can also improve his status for 27. He's second in the race to Dubai right now because he just won on the European Tour. And if he wants to play Q School, he'd be exempt into the final stage because he's in the top 50 in the world. He's 29th in the world. So, I mean, and by that criteria, he gets into everything that matters in terms of tournaments. So he's in pretty good shape, and he can play the European Tour for the rest of this year, having just won in Dubai. So he's in great shape. But yeah, did not see this coming for P. Reed.
Michael Lasala, we talked a little bit about him, the NCAA champ that forfeited the opportunity to go to the Masters to take the bank and the bag and go Live. I don't blame him one bit for taking that kind of money. I don't. If I were Live, I wouldn't have signed him. I don't think he moves the needle. I don't think he does anything to help them. Whereas here's Blades Brown, who just turned pro, goes and does well enough in a Corn Ferry to get in a PGA event. And he's playing with Scheffler on Sunday. And now all the guys that I play golf with that are watching the Golf Channel are already interested in Blades Brown. Would you have made the offer if you were Liv to LaSalle?
That's a tough call. I mean, right now they kind of they're making interesting decisions about who they're offering, and you can't compel the player to take the offer. I mean, they signed Ben On and they signed Thomas Dietrich. Now, to us, those are interesting signings because we know who those players are. They signed Elvis Smiley. All right, outside the golf world, no one knows who that is, but he's kind of an interesting guy. He's an up-and-coming player from Australia, and you're like, wow, okay, really? They're taking him off the European Tour, or taking him potentially off the PGA Tour? You can't compel the player to take the offer, but if you're Liv and it's a talented player, you have to make the offer. I think, and they've got to reinforce their stocks. They've got to have, because they don't have a tried and true minor league the way the PGA Tour has college golf in the U.S. and the Corn Ferry Tour. Liv has a relationship with the Asian Tour, and they have this, promotions event, which they just had a couple of weeks ago in my backyard out at down the road here at the Quarry. And I'm trying to think of the Black Diamond Resort, but they don't have a steady means of reinforcing the rosters of their teams. So yeah, they're going to offer anybody who's halfway decent, but they certainly can't compel these players to take the money. And at the entry level, I don't know how great those contracts are for a guy who's, brand new to the Live Tour.
Whit Watson, listen to his show Saturday late mornings in Orlando and Jacksonville, making the cut. iHeartRadio app is also how you can listen to it if you can't get it live. Follow Whit on X at Real Whit Watson.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Spring training is a big win for Lee County. Beginning next month, we will proudly host the Boston Red Sox and Minnesota Twins right here in Southwest Florida. It's more than great baseball. It's jobs, visitors, and $69 million in tourism impact for our local economy. Get your tickets at RedSox.com and Twins.com. Be part of something that strengthens our community. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Pause. I think you're accurate, but I also think David's right. If they offered, I think he'd say no.
Phil would have said no.
I think David's point is 100% accurate. His ego's too big.
Phil would have relished telling them to shove it up their butt.
Yep. I agree with you. And that's too bad.
Yeah, he's too far down the rabbit hole. He's all in. His legacy is now what it is, and he knows it. So there's no sense trying to make good. I mean, I would give thousands of dollars to see him contend on a Sunday at Augusta again. I mean, just think it'd be amazing. And rest pause. Yeah, Phil's been proven right on just about everything. The problem is the PGA Tour is still going to win out and win out big. And if LIV wins, it'll probably be after Phil's dead. I mean, I think if the LIV could somehow hang around into the 2030s, they have a chance to do okay, because I think the World Tour thing's going to work.
That's interesting.
And I think the PGA Tour, sorry, Mark, is kind of cutting off their nose to spite their face if they're going to get rid of the Rocket Mortgage and the John Deere and the 3M and 2 of the Florida swings and 2 of the West Coast swings. I think that's going to be a mistake.
I would agree that that's an opening for Liv, because they could go to Detroit and they could go to those markets. But I think ultimately players want to play in the best league. If you're a soccer player, like the kid from Orlando just went to La Liga. Now, I know that's not the Premier League, but La Liga just paid Orlando $4 million, the transfer fee for this kid. And this was a homegrown Orlando Soccer Academy guy. They don't want to play in the MLS. They want to play where the best players are. And I just think, the NBA player that's playing in Europe wants to play where? Or the basketball player in Europe wants to play in the NBA. I just think ultimately the good golfer wants to play among the best golfers, the best soccer player, etc. But I could be wrong.
No, you're more likely to be right than I am. I just think I think the whole golf in Japan, the golf in Australia thing, the golf in South America, I think it can work. I think those tournaments can be very popular, very successful. Yeah, won't get whole lot of attention here in the United States, but I mean, those crowds in Australia are big. What'd they say, Adam? No, Mark, I don't ever recall a hockey rink having rink heaters.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Mitch Nelles, who covers the Milwaukee sports scene, he will join us coming up in a little more than 15 minutes' time. Looks as if Giannis has finally said, okay, you can trade me. But then again, with his contract situation, he's got a year plus left. He could, if he really wanted to, dictate where he goes. And so who's willing to give up what if you're only renting him for a year plus? You know, who does he turn from a contender into a champion? So anyway, Mitch Nelles, a little more than 15 minutes time.
So we brought this up earlier in the show. The Winter Classic is in Tampa on Sunday. The Lightning and the Bruins. The temperatures are going to be as cold as probably we've had, certainly as we've had this century in Tampa for that game. I mean, we're getting record cold in Florida, the likes of which most of us who live here have never seen. I've been here since 98. I don't recall this type of a cold snap in all the time that I've lived here. I think there was 1 week, I think in the early 2000s. I remember all the snook getting killed in the backwater. It was a huge fish kill, and you couldn't keep a snook forever because they had to regrow the population. But we've had 2 different winter snaps. This one appears to be colder. So cold. How cold is it? There could be snow on Sunday in Tampa. I don't know what that will do to ticket prices. But, David, to sit upstairs at Ray J right now is about $275 for the game. Tickets ain't cheap at all. You want to sit in the lower bowl? You're talking corners for one group of tickets at $367, but mostly over $400. You want to sit center ice, $500, $600, $700 for a ticket. I'm wondering if the cold weather is going to drive ticket prices down, for the hockey game. But we've said this for a long time, long before we were ever on in Tampa. In fact, one of the first dates that I had with my now wife was a Penguins Lightning game. She's from Pittsburgh. We've been to a couple Penguin Lightning games in Tampa. She was blown away because she had no idea just how great the Tampa Bay Lightning fan base is. And I happened to work for the Lightning organization, or at least their farm club, when I broke into the hockey world back in the mid-90s. And the Atlanta Knights at that time were their AAA farm team in the old International Hockey League. And I worked for the IHL, and a lot of the guys that played on that team went back and forth between Tampa and Atlanta. And in fact, some of our front office did. Our ticket guy went on to be the ticket guy at Tampa and helped set all those records when they were playing between the fairgrounds and have the occasional game at the Dome and set some NHL, and I still think hold indoor records for ticket sales. If you've never been to a Lightning game, then you're missing out, because it is a great in-arena product. Skip the fact that for the last decade, the team's been fantastic. It's a great product. Everything about what they do is excellent. David's been to games, all over the country. He's taken his time to go to a hockey game here and a hockey game there in his travels with Monday Night Football. I've been to quite a few myself. And what Tampa does is, honestly, it's second to none in this country. I don't think anybody has a leg up on the Lightning, including the Sabres, the Wings, the Bruins. It's going to be packed. And I know there'll be a bunch of Bruin fans there because there's a lot of Boston people in Florida. But I am not at all surprised at this demand for ticket.
If I lived there, I'd go. I mean, if it wasn't a 3-hour and 15-minute drive, I'd be all over it. I'd pay the price, by the way. How many times are we going to have an outdoor game in the state of Florida? Never mind. To me, the weather actually makes it more compelling. Okay, because now I know the ice surface is going to be really good. The quality of the product that I'm going to watch is now going to be better than what it probably would have been when they originally scheduled this. I mean, Mark, you and I are into quality of ice is important. Tough to have a good game if the ice sucks. The ice ain't going to suck. Ice is going to be pretty good. Okay, cool. And the fact that be it a hockey game, also, Bruins are an original 6 team. The Lightning, and it may snow, even if it snows for 10 minutes. If I can get that picture standing there, outdoor rink, it's snowing in the background. Are you kidding me? In Florida? How many times is this going to happen in your life? I'm 60. How many times do I think it's going to happen for the rest of my life?
And why I say that they're second to none, and I would argue anybody that brings up any team, it's now generational in Tampa. Their first year was 1992. There are Lightning fans that are now bringing their children who are Lightning fans by birth. That's how you would develop a fan base. That's how it becomes a thing. And you look at the growth of hockey in this state since the Lightning have started, and it's unbelievable. We're now producing NHL talent in the state of Florida. Some of them right here in Southwest Florida. But the Tampa Bay Lightning and their ticket prices and their fan base is sensational. So I'm fired up. If I was getting admitted to the hospital on Monday, I'd go Sunday night. I really would. So I'm fired up like you. If we get snow for this, holy cow, this I hope. And look it, we kind of thought that this stadium series had, I don't know about jumped the shark, but certainly had its time. And the first one, when it was in Buffalo against the Penguins and Sidney Crosby's on the ice and it snowed, they can't top that. It's really difficult when your first one might be your best one. But they've played games, at Michigan Stadium. They've done it all over the country. Fenway, Wrigley. They've had these games. Everybody thought that Ray J was, I think most hockey people thought this was going to be a flop. Well, oh, by the way, is there a hotter team, dare I say, in sports than the Tampa Bay Lightning right now? I mean, maybe Arizona basketball. But the Lightning are red hot right now. The Bruins have been playing great. So you're going to get what should be a really good game with two teams that are, Tampa's trying to be first in the conference. Boston's trying to get in the playoffs right now. But you spend a good week in the NHL and you've done your job in the Eastern Conference. That's unbelievable. So I'm excited to watch Sunday evening. I really am.
I am too. I am too. I hope it gets a number because the Rangers and the Panthers didn't, and it was on ABC and it didn't draw 1 million. And I
If it
believe that
snows, it will, David.
I hope
Because
so.
we all know a football game, if it starts snowing, people, whether it's, through X, a buddy texting them, seeing it on social media somewhere, they'll gravitate towards it.
Hoping the Boston sports fan, while killing time waiting for the Super Bowl, hope all of New England watches.
And we know that's hockey country.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked for a long time where I am in Southwest Florida. We are one of the best markets in the country from a television rating standpoint for hockey for areas that don't have an NHL team. The other two are Milwaukee and Providence. And Providence is obviously Bruin country. So I'm with you. I'm hopeful that this will do a number. Boy, if it doesn't, you might want to scrap this game. Miller and Moulton. We'll talk about Giannis and the Bucks next.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Thanks, EB. Appreciate it.
My mom's coming in on the train. The train was late leaving Jersey. So it's been trying to figure out, okay, when are you arriving? Seems like a very simple question. What time are you arriving in Jacksonville? Well, the conductor's given my mother 3 different times. Well, I'm paying a driver to pick her up. I kind of need to know the time.
Right.
So.
Gotcha. I just saw the panic there in that segment, and I knew.
So, gonna get her picked up. Gonna get her here. It's not my mom's fault. First of all, it's not her fault the train's late. Secondly, she keeps asking the guy, what time? So I, of course, said to my mother, do me a favor. The next time he comes by, I want you to stab him in the neck.
Attaboy.
Right. So.
This is not political, okay? Just hear me out. I don't care any of your opinions on him, but Vance was in Naples yesterday for a fundraiser.
Okay.
And he came, apparently, I guess, I don't know if he, probably RSW, but the motorcade went by where my wife works, and it was freezing. And people were outside videoing the motorcade, and like a couple of her coworkers went out, and she's like, and she goes, she looked, because they kind of just saw it go by, and she goes, it flies by.
Uh-huh.
Why would anyone go outside in that cold to watch cars go by at 50 miles an hour? What are you? And all she goes, what are you going to do with that video? That was her only question. And trust me, my wife leans right by a lot. So this is not political, but she's like, what the hell are they going to do with the video?
I was going to say, she doesn't lean.
Right.
She staggers. She falls.
Right. You're right. But it's like Dangerfield. Got all these pictures of parking lots. That's all.
Of course, my mom's being so great. She's like, I can wait. No, you're not waiting at an old dilapidated train station in North Jacksonville. Okay, when it's 37 degrees out.
It's balmy for your mother.
Well, that is true. That's, now you make a dadgum good point there. All right.
And all, like, as Michael, that was to you. Tell me if Vegas is doing this in 25 years, then you can bring it up. And I just said they don't own a candle to anybody. I'm not saying there aren't others that are the same. I mean, I am from a place that they like to call Hockey Town, okay? But the Lightning do this right. That's why they hate the Panthers so much. Because the Panthers are Johnny-come-lately, and the Lightning are like, really? Really? All right, come on, dude. I'll call.
It is 7:35 where he is, I believe. Yeah.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes until the Diamond District bonus hour, and that, of course, will be Mark's last hour that we can write in ink. Mark headed to Moffett after the show. He'll have his big surgery a week from tomorrow, and then he's going to be in Hillsborough County for about 3 months. How long he'll be off the show, we shall see. So we'll yak it up next hour. That is for sure on the Diamond District bonus hour.
Going to be joined momentarily. Is it Nelles?
It is. It's
Mitch
Nelles.
He said, I'm jumping on right now. I said, okay. So he's hitting the link as we speak. So he will join us via our StreamYard app. So those of you on YouTube and Twitch can see, and the audio quality is a hell of a lot better. It gives us time to get to our poll question, which we put up and have spent 4 seconds talking about this morning.
It's just part of our charm.
It really is. Do you like 2 weeks between championship weekend and the Super Bowl? Yes, no, 1 week is enough. Most of you saying 1 week is enough. I agree with you. 1 week is enough, but it ain't going to change. There's no way it's going to change. I think the fact, look at all the coaches that have been hired this week. Just that alone keeps the NFL slightly above, the NBA and and anything else. Baseball would kill for a week like this. They would kill for a week with no games where people talked about their sport so much. And not, obviously you couldn't have a week between championships and the World Series, but you know what I'm getting at. They used to have the entire offseason, the hot stove league. Nobody talks baseball anymore.
By the way, unrelated, and we can get to this down the road, have you seen the dates for the upcoming college football national championship games? You thought this year was late on January 19th? There's a couple of them coming up that are around January 25th and 26th.
Ridiculous.
By the way, yeah. So the problem is not going to get better. Mitch Nelles is kind enough to join us. It's cold. It's early where he is in Milwaukee. He's co-host of the Mason Crosby Show on 105.7 The Fan in Milwaukee. You can follow Mitch on X at Thunder MKE. Thunder MKE. Mitch, thanks for doing this. Top of the morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing, fellas?
Well, we're doing well. Before we get to all the Giannis stuff, because I was looking at your Twitter bio or X bio there. You're a Boston native. You've been in Wisconsin 35 years. So you've got to be a hockey guy. If you're not, I'd be completely shocked. But we were talking the Stadium Series, Bruins and Lightning. If it snows on Sunday in Florida, how much more would you want to watch that in Wisconsin?
I mean, 1,000% at a minimum. I think that would be amazing. You're right. I am a Bruins fan. We don't have pro hockey here in Milwaukee. We have the AAA team for the Nashville Predators. So we have some loyalty to Nashville. But I grew up a Bruins fan. And if it snowed in Florida, I mean, that would be everything. Like, that would be so hockey. That'd be so great. I mean, the NHL should take that and use that in their promotional materials for the next 100 years.
And the NHL could use it because people didn't watch the Rangers-Panthers Stadium Series, so hopefully they will watch the Bruins and the Lightning early Sunday evening. Okay, did Giannis have kind of a midlife crisis over the last 2 months? He seems to have been emotionally all over the place as to what he wants. Has he just kind of I don't know, the pressure getting to him?
You know what? That's a great way to put it. We've never seen him. One of the things he did in the past couple of months is kind of embrace this heel character to steal from WWE, both locally and nationally. And he's never been that guy. He's always been the happy-go-lucky, gentle giant kid who grew up with nothing from Greece. Milwaukee has embraced him. Milwaukee loves him. And frankly, Milwaukee still embraces him and still loves him. But I don't know if he's trying to find some external motivation. I don't know if he knows this team is really terrible. And so he's got to do something. I don't think he's truly working his way out of Milwaukee. That may end up happening. I mean, he may be gone in the next 6 days or whatever it is, but I don't think that was the intent. I think the intent was to yes, some sort of, oh wait, I'm 30, I'm 31. Things aren't going the way. All my guys are gone. My friends aren't here anymore. The team stinks. My body's breaking down. I need to do something differently. And so he chose this heel personality. And it's gone weird. It's been a weird couple months here in Milwaukee for Giannis and for the team and for the fans. And we're kind of at a loss of what does any of this mean?
Well, I hate the idea of Giannis being traded because the opportunity for the Bucks to get a talent like that again seems very difficult.
Yes.
And when a player can force his way out, it limits what the Bucks can get in return. With that being said, who is it that can give the Bucks the most so that 3-4 years from now, can they be what the Pistons have figured out in the last couple of years? Because it looked like Detroit was dead and gone in the NBA circles, and they figured it out here recently. So who's the team that you think if they trade him, they have to trade him to try to kind of pull off what Detroit's done the last couple of years?
I don't know that they're going to get the return that they want no matter who they deal with. You look at what Rudy Gobert got. You look at what Bridges got with the Knicks. And we're just hearing that like maybe that's the max that the Bucks get back, but they don't get more than that. And if you tell me that those guys are on the same level as Giannis, I mean, we all know Giannis is much better than they are with his impact on the court. The Spurs already announced last night that they're out, and the Spurs probably have the best package to put together with players plus picks. The Oklahoma City Thunder, it'd be nice if somebody on the Thunder, not that I wish injury on anybody, but it'd be nice if the Thunder didn't look this dominant, because the Thunder actually have the best package out of anybody. Beyond that, you just go down the list. I mean, you guys know Miami has a package to put together. Toronto has a package to put together. Detroit has a package. Atlanta has something. I mean, the Knicks are like at the bottom of the list, and the Knicks really think they're getting Giannis. And man, the Knicks are a joke. Like they're a good basketball team, but if they think Karl Anthony Towns and like a 7th round pick, I know there's only 2 rounds, I'm just being facetious, but like that's what it feels like the Knicks are offering. I just don't see that happening without a third team getting involved. So it's, everybody, what I want the Bucks, and then you hear last night that the Warriors might have the best package. I mean, I think the Bucks, to do their due diligence, they have to take every package, they have to lay it out, and actually then make a decision. Does this even make sense right now?
How could it not make sense, though? Like, I understand the emotional connection to Giannis. I get it. He's probably the player that the fans have been closest to since, well, at least the 80s, if not, Kareem. But if he leaves, are they okay with it? Like, I'm of the belief, if I were a Bucks fan, Mitch, it's run its course.
Yeah.
Okay. Even when he's healthy, we're 500 with him in the lineup. We're one of the 5 worst teams in the league without him.
Yes.
So let me get the most and let me take another crack at it. Is the fan base going to be okay with that?
A portion of the fan base, but the majority, no. Listen, there's a part of the fan base that just wants to hold on to Giannis by whatever means necessary until he leaves by choice and the Bucks get nothing for him. And there's a portion of the fan base that's okay with that because of what Giannis has meant to Milwaukee and what he's meant to the Bucks. And I get that. I don't agree with that. I'm just not fully convinced that a trade by this trade deadline is the max value you get for Giannis. Part of me thinks that you wait till the draft lottery. You see where the Bucks hit. Because if the Bucks hit in one of those top 3 picks, which is true possibility for a superstar, then you go to Giannis and say, hey, we got Cam Boozer coming in. We got the kid from BYU coming in. We're immediately going to be relevant next year. We've got your Robin to your Batman. And then if the Bucks don't hit in the top 3, then immediately you look to trade Giannis during this offseason. So there could be an argument that you don't trade him right now before February 5th, but you do trade him this offseason. I do think one or the other will happen. I do think he will be traded either by the trade deadline or this offseason, and that will be and it is the Bucks have to maximize their return here because you guys said it. Like, so Milwaukee doesn't grow superstars on trees. Superstars don't choose Milwaukee to come to. If they do, they chose it because Giannis was here. Nobody comes to Milwaukee to be the savior after Giannis. The Bucks are going to need some luck in this whole equation when it comes to the imminent divorce with Giannis.
Was he already playing the heel when he got booed and gave the thumbs down to the fans? I mean, that obviously pissed him off. And I can see why. I mean, if I were Giannis, I'd have been pissed too.
So that was part of like Giannis being a heel when he didn't need to be a heel. Giannis never got booed. It happened to be that they were down by 30 at the half and he missed 2 free throws with 5 seconds left. But I was a season ticket holder for the past 7 seasons. I went down to a 10-pack this year just because honestly, Jimmy Haslam. That's probably why. I don't believe in Jimmy Haslam. But the booing was never directed at Giannis. The booing is directed at the team. The booing is directed at Doc Rivers. The booing is directed at the ownership group. The booing is directed at the organization as a whole. It just so happened that Giannis missed the 2 free throws at the end of the half, and so it felt like booing of Giannis. But there's no Milwaukee Bucks fan who specifically is calling out Giannis and is booing Giannis. And I didn't hate that Giannis booed back at the crowd. 2 years ago, the Bucks were down by 30 at the half, and they asked Giannis about it after the game, and Giannis said, I'd boo too. So clearly he's made a shift in personality that, like, listen, Giannis, you're down by 30 at the half. You guys stink. We pay crazy prices in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a community that can't afford what we're paying to keep you right now, to keep you because we love you so much. And we're going to boo because we're not getting the value for our tickets.
We're talking with Thunder, Mitch Nelles, part of the Mason Crosby with Thunder show, middays, 105.7 The Fan in Milwaukee. All right, my final question. I believe after this season, Milwaukee can offer him something obscene. I don't know, 4 for $272 or something like that.
It's right around $70 million a year.
Yeah. So is that important to him? Like, because obviously nobody else can offer that. Right. And like you said, let's just say they finish top 5 in the lottery. There's going to be 5 great players at the top of this draft. And you go to them, you say, listen, we can give you the most money. We're going to get you a Robin. Okay, we're going to clean this up rather quickly. You'll be surprised how good we're going to be, how quickly. Do you think he would take it, or do you think he's hell-bent on, I got to play for a title?
He's definitely hell-bent on needing to play for a title. It might not be immediately, though. He might say, I don't know what the 2 year, can he sign 2 years for 140 instead of 4 years for 270? Like, I could see him doing something like that and saying, let's give this a chance for a year or two. Now, you're still kind of dead men walking at that point. Like, you already have 1 foot out the door, but at least you're giving it a chance. I do not think a 4-year max extension with the Bucks would be something he would consider either right now or during the offseason, because I think it's important to his legacy at this point to win another title, to at least compete for more titles. Like, he's not interested in 500 seasons trying to get that 6th seed. He's interested in going somewhere where he can compete for one of those top 3 seeds every year and go deep into the playoffs. The past 3-4 years in Milwaukee here have stunk. We never got to see him, Dame, and Chris Middleton on the court together in a playoff game. And so you can say what you want about the Dame trade, but we never got to see what that trade could have been. And that's always going to be part of his legacy that he's part of. And so I don't think that's a lot of money. I don't know what he's already done with the $330 million he's already made, but to get to $600 million, man, I'd take $600 million, but I'd take $500 million with a chance to win. I don't, those are figures we can't even think about.
Mitch Nelles, he's part of the Mason Crosby show with Thunder. He's Thunder. You can follow Mitch on X at Thunder, MKE, Thunder, MKE. Mitch, thanks for doing this. Try to stay warm. Enjoy your Bruins Sunday night, and hopefully we can talk again.
I appreciate it. You guys are great. Keep up the great work, and we'll see what happens with Giannis Palooza right
now. Mitch Thunder Nelles joining us for 105.7 The Fan in Milwaukee.
I would be stunned if they kept him. But I do like what he says about waiting until next year's draft, because it looks like the packages that are out there, if he goes to and I know he'll have a say. I think he may have a say in where he goes. Would you go to Miami? It doesn't turn them around.
Well, once again, like the Knicks offer now is bad. The Knicks offer come June could be really good. It could be 2 first-rounders, including a lottery pick. So I'm with him. I actually think unless somebody blows me over the next 6 days, I may just trade him in the offseason and hold an auction, but the offers will be better. Miller and Moulton. Final hour, the Diamond District bonus hour coming up. The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Hey, football fans, Jimmy the Beef Guy here. This is coming up fast. Wait, did you just beat me? You mean I can't say soup, whatever. So guys, if you're having a football party, don't wait till last minute. Remember guys, our beef packages come with the beef, the gravy, the bread, the peppers. All you have to do is heat and serve. So call me now or stop in one of our 2 locations in Bonita Springs or Fort Myers. And again, guys, please don't wait till last minute, man. Put your orders in now.
For 22 years, we've been more than just a jewelry store. We're your neighbors at the Diamond District.
From custom design and expert repairs to gold buying, appraisals, and spa treatments for your jewelry, we do it all right here in the store.
Whether you're creating something new or bringing new life to a family heirloom,
our team handles every piece with care, craft, and experience.
22 years of dedicated service only at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Huh. I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't. Just, I can't.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour on this final Thursday of January. Mark's final hour, at least, regularly. He's going to jump in over the next weeks and months when he wants, when he can. But you head up this afternoon, don't you?
I do. I've got a slew of appointments that begin early tomorrow morning, and it's a hell of a lot easier to make an 8 o'clock appointment, not having to drive 2.5 hours and deal with both Sarasota and Tampa traffic. You never know what could happen. So we'll head up. My wife and I are going up today. My daughter and mother are coming up on Saturday. And then I am admitted into Moffett on Sunday, I guess Sunday morning. So it all begins then. I got it's a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. I guess they put a line in my chest so they can pump me full of stuff. So, they said I could go home after that Friday, but they suggested that I stay in case anything were to go wrong. Obviously, they're right there, and I can get immediate attention instead of having to try to go to an emergency room in Southwest Florida. So they're pretty adamant about you staying close by. You know who doesn't care about you having to stay close by and get hotel rooms? Your insurance.
Really?
Yeah, imagine that, David.
I can't believe that would be something that they're unconcerned about. Imagine that. So, you got good eats planned the next few nights? Because this is, we've been joking on and off air, but, obviously with the big stuff, you hope and you pray for the best. And if it goes well, that'll be amazing. And, but I mean, how many of us have said, listen, we love you, we care about you, we're praying for you, we're rooting for the best. Even if things go well, you going to be able to handle the food?
I have no idea, David, because I will say, I've been at Moffett several times. I've eaten in the cafeteria. It's fine. Honestly, it's fine. I'm okay with the cafeteria, but the cafeteria is not necessarily what I think I get in the room. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm in store for with hospital food. And anybody who's listening to this show, one, I love to cook. Most people think I'm pretty good at it. That's not me talking. That's people that I've cooked for. I've actually been paid to cook for people before. I'm kind of good at it.
And you like it.
I love to do it. The wife yesterday was, I'm like, hey, I can, tell you how to do it. I'm going to do my way and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, whatever, knock yourself out. A true story. My wife did not know that I cooked when we first met, and we were dating for a few weeks, maybe a month or so. And she invited me to come over, and she was going to cook me dinner. And I said, okay. And she made some broiled fish and some rice and some steamed vegetables. It was fine. It truly was. I cooked for her next, and she was so pissed at me that I didn't let on that I was a cook because she was a little embarrassed. And the food was fine. It was just a little bland for me. It is what it is. Broiled fish, yippee. So she was a little ticked off that I didn't let on that I cooked. And that was maybe the first and last time she's ever cooked for me. And my daughter, I cook every meal. I cook nearly every meal in our house. Now, my wife makes my daughter breakfast most mornings, a breakfast burrito with some eggs and what have you. It's a little thing. It's fine. And that she does that well. And she cooks a couple of things. She makes chili occasionally. But now she has the duty of cooking for our daughter here for the next basically 3 months. And to make matters worse for my wife is when I get out of the hospital, I am going to have to stay in the Tampa area. My transplant is the 6th. I will be in the Tampa area for 90 days post-transplant. Those are their rules. I don't think there's any way of getting out sooner than that, although I'm going to try. But I have to have somebody with me 24/7 when I get out of the hospital. So my mother and my wife are going to alternate weeks because the objective is to try to make things as sane as possible for my 11-year-old daughter.
Sure.
So my wife will be cooking for my daughter. I cook for my daughter. My daughter likes what I make for her a lot. My mom's a pretty good cook. My mom cooks for my daughter, particularly on the days that my mom's nice enough to pick her up from school so I can tee it up 2 days a week.
Right.
So on the weeks that my wife is with my daughter, she's now responsible. And my wife is petrified at what point the daughter tells her, call dad and get arrested.
I don't think your daughter's going to wait too long before pulling that ripcord.
I don't either. I've been trying to, the daughter has no real interest in learning how to cook yet. She's 11. I get it. But, you and I, and my parents were married much longer than David's were, but I was a latchkey kid like David. I came home and on the summertime, if you want to eat, make yourself some food. Even if it was boxed macaroni and cheese, a grilled cheese sandwich, and tomato soup. By the time I was 11, I could fend for myself completely. I don't think, I spent the summers alone at 11. I know you did.
Yeah, I have no recollection of my parents being married. So,
right. So I know you were, you want to eat, you better learn how to make something or you're SOL.
Although I have to admit, I was never into cooking. So my idea of making it would be like bologna and cheese on bread or cereal.
But we helicopter our kids far more than we were helicoptered. So even that for them is something, my daughter's not, Dad, I want lunch. Okay, I make lunch. I never say go do it yourself. That's on me. I'm not blaming her. But I've tried to get her to try to do a little more. So now she's gonna have to fend for herself a little bit more. She's mastered the microwave, so we're getting there.
Well, I just hope she takes it easy on mom.
Me too.
Okay. Yeah.
Me too.
Just come on, dear. Have a heart. Have a heart.
I did catch her in an eye roll to mom about something recently. I think I've told that story on the air, and I picked her up from school. I'm like, honey, I know where you get it from, and there's part of me that loves it, but you've really got to work on keeping it on the inside.
Right, between now and Mother's Day.
Right. I mean, you really got to keep these eye rolls at a bare minimum.
X-nay
and mom.
On the eye roll A, yes. Okay. After Mother's Day, a little more flexibility. Next 13, 14 weeks, could you please behave, please?
I will do my damnedest to get back on the show if it is even just for curling updates during the Olympics.
I thought about this because your wife is the biggest Olympic fan that the two of us know. Now, she prefers summer to winter, but she loves the Olympics.
Loves them.
And obviously now she's not going to be home full time, taping full time, watching full time. I was thinking about how difficult this is going to be for you. Okay. Because I understand how much she loves you. I get it. I understand how much she's going to be there for you and care for you and the whole deal. But Mark, this is the Olympics. Okay. I mean, they only come around every other year, and the Winter Olympics only come around every 4 years. I mean, she's probably going to look at you at some point, and her face is going to say, I know I should be putting you first, but okay, the bobsled starts in 10 minutes.
It's so funny you say that, because anybody who's listened to the show, and if you haven't listened, thank you for joining us. I have an unbelievable setup in my living room. I have 2 mounted big televisions on the walls, and I have a third that's brought out on a table. And most nights, year-round, except for summer, I don't ever put 3 baseball games on. That never happens. But for basically 8 months of the year, it's when football's going on, we've got 3 football games. This time of year, it's last night it was an NHL game, a college game, and an NBA game, all on simultaneously. And that's what I do. And my wife has accepted that. She likes sports. She'll sit on the couch and fiddle on her phone. And if something good happens, I'm like, hey, watch that. And she watches her Penguins. She's a Pittsburgh native. But the 3 of us were sitting there in the past 5 days. And I'm taking not one of the TVs, but the Fire Stick from one. So she'll still have the 2 TVs. And she said to our daughter, she said, do you know what I'm going to be able to do? I'm going to be able to watch the Olympics on all 3 TVs, and he can't stop me.
At which point she's going to be like, praise God, I hope everything's going well and what have you. Give me the clicker. There's skeleton going on.
She'll be into the figure skating. She'll be into the speed skating. She'll be into the skiing. Speaking of the skiing, Lindsey Vonn, who's 40, 41?
I think 41.
And she's competing. She put out a few pictures of herself recently.
She was vacationing in Austria, I believe.
Yeah, in a bikini? 40? Good gracious, lady.
Well,
wow. Good for you. And one last comment on that. Tiger, what the hell were you thinking getting rid of that? Like, you're going to do better. You got that waitress that tried to take you for all that money. You have a soft spot for, I get it. The bartender waitress thing. We've all gone through it. At some point, Tiger, you got to grow up and get past the bartender waitress and date a real woman. Okay. I'm just saying it was like Cowherd's line. You date the stripper. But when you're 50 years old, you can't be hanging out with the bartenders and the waitresses anymore. I'm just saying.
She was already going to go down historically as one of the best all time, not just in America, but all time. She has come back from a knee replacement, and she has come back from 2 retirements, and she's winning races
right
in her 40s.
It's amazing.
It's beyond that. What a spectacular skier that she is, and historically should be remembered forever.
And then the other little controversy, I think Pablo Torre was on it with the with the uniforms or outfits that they wear for the ski jumping.
Oh my goodness. Is this a calamity over in Europe?
Exactly.
Oh,
I love the ski jumping just because of all the sports that you couldn't pay me to get up there, let alone go down that damn hill.
I love the story. We're talking about fabric and outfits and ski jumping. Oh, I'm all in.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
No, Serena. Sorry. Serena.
Hey, can I go Sean Payton here?
Sure.
Oh. Golly. Oh.
I do not, Left Twix. I think we'll be just fine. I appreciate it. I really, really do. But we'll be fine. I think there are far more people that are in need of donations than I am, to be brutally honest. But thank you very much. You will not see any fast food in my future, Johnny Mac. That ain't happening. Not today, not tomorrow, not effing ever. I like that, Sonny. I think Ledecky, top 5, you know what I mean? Top 5 female athletes, Ledecky would have to be in there with Serena. I think Lindsey Vonn might deserve votes. I mean, which Hooper do you want to put in there? Cheryl Miller? You know, I mean, if I don't know if there's someone, who would you say from the Hooper would you say is the best female Hooper, David?
Yeah, it's tough to come up with somebody better than Cheryl Miller. I'm sitting here, I mean, Leslie.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when. Some final thoughts. All coming up in a little more than 15 minutes' time. I have to apologize for something. I did not include this in the starting 5. Probably should have brought it up earlier in the show. And maybe a few of our longtime Broncos listeners in the YouTube and Twitch chat rooms are still with us. Did you pay attention to the Sean Payton story yesterday out of Denver?
Are you talking about him talking about the number of ankle surgeries for Bo Nix and Bo Nix not being happy with him talking about it?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to, hey, you know, Sean Payton, there always can be a story. He fired his offensive coordinator, I guess, because he didn't want to go for it on 4th down.
By the way, did you hear Joe Lombardi, who's friends with Sean Payton? Okay. Did you hear what Lombardi said? Quote, you could tell he was in one of those moods where he felt like some changes needed to be made. And I guess he decided one of those was me. I've been around him long enough to kind of read the tea leaves. Okay. So then there's that he got rid of his, friend and a guy who's been on a staff with him on 3 different occasions for about a decade between New Orleans and now Denver. Okay. But here's why I think this Sean Payton annoying Bo Nix story is worth paying attention to. Apparently, Sean Payton and Bo Nix are not super tight. Now, obviously, Bo respects him as the coach, but that apparently the guys that Bo Nix was tight with was Joe Lombardi, who just got fired, and Davis Webb, the quarterback coach, who's on a lot of people's offensive coordinator lists. In fact, right now, if you were to ask NFL people, they think Davis Webb is going to be offered an OC job with play calling. He doesn't have that in Denver. He's never had that. And so people are saying, hey, man, Sean's, not the easiest person to get along with. Drew Brees was, a different guy. Also, Sean got Drew Brees after he'd been in the league 5 years. And Brees coming off a major injury and the whole New Orleans story, they made them winners together.
Right. I mean, he hadn't won before that. So,
right.
We've heard, from Gary Danielson on down, we've heard a lot of players that when it comes to a new coach or a new attitude, buying into winning early in a season or with a new coach, it's easy to do for players.
And like
when they have success, well, then they're all in.
Like there's people in our Twitch chat room saying, oh, well, Davis Webb will get promoted. He may get promoted to offensive coordinator in Denver. Sean's not giving up play calling. If you're Davis Webb, OC with play calling, OC without play calling. What job are you going to take?
It's a no-brainer, David.
And so the thought is that, hey, also, Bo Nix, have you heard Bo Nix ever say a bad word about any of his coaches before? At
No.
Oregon? In
No.
Denver? In Auburn?
Right.
Right. Has Bo Nix ever said even a passive-aggressive word about a teammate or a coach? And Bo Nix was not happy yesterday, in which he's like, yeah, I don't know what he's talking about, and he shouldn't be talking about it anyway because he doesn't know what the answer is. And the other thing is that, I mean, listen, I think that teams hide behind healthcare privacy laws. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think HIPAA applies to your hamstring injury. Sorry. You're on a team. You're part of a salary cap. You're on injury reports. I'm sorry. I don't think HIPAA applies. But there are some people that believe that it does. All right. But Bo Nix was not happy that his coach was talking about his ankle and basically saying that he's damaged goods, and we've known he's damaged goods. Sean Payton said it wasn't a matter of if, but when that he was going to suffer an injury like this and need surgery. And Bo Nix was almost incredulous when he was told what his coach said. And he did not hold back. He didn't try to placate it. He didn't try to say, well, maybe he was No.
He has no business talking about it. It's basically what Bo Nix said. He doesn't know everything, and he shouldn't be talking about it.
Now, can this easily blow over? Sure. Bo Nix apparently going to be out 3 months. Maybe he's around for spring, mini camp or whatever. Maybe he's not. Who cares? Okay, but just in terms of a quarterback's relationship with their coach / play caller, they don't have to be best friends. They don't have to get along. But a lot of people who know the situation in Denver went out of their way yesterday to say, Sean Payton didn't have a good day yesterday.
And as Nick's pointed out, it's like 60 games that he's played since his last injury.
It seems like a lot.
It does, as a quarterback, when you only play about 11 in college. So it was and look at, if, as you mentioned, Webb seems to be a guy that the Giants want. So
He's on their short list. Yep. And there's a lot of teams that, okay, they've hired their head coaches. They got to fill out their staff. So just put that in the, put that under your hat. Let's just, keep watching that next year, whether or not the Bo Nix, Sean Payton relationship is, because let's be honest, if Bo Nix keeps being a good, solid quarterback, he's going to be in Denver longer than Sean.
Well, and obviously what's next for Bo Nix? Getting paid. And that is the other reason that if you're Nix, you're bringing up your durability, how long it's been, why this isn't an issue, because now you're, next offseason is when you want your extension, David.
Well, yes, next offseason is when, in theory, they can not only pick up your fifth-year option, but then they can sign you to the, 5-year, $50+ million a year deal. Right. So anyway, I just thought it was worth bringing up that Sean Payton's had a rough week, and he honked off his quarterback yesterday publicly, and his quarterback let him know it too. Okay.
Miller and Moulton. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Today was a day when what's on tap still ahead. We've got a pretty good college basketball weekend ahead of us. What, we got a handful of NHL games before we have the freeze and the Olympic break. The NBA trade deadline is less than a week away.
So Wednesday next week is when the hockey roster freeze goes into effect. There's no movement at all through the Olympics. That's like 3 weeks. A week from today, Thursday afternoon, is the NBA trade deadline. Think about that, a trade deadline before their All-Star game.
Yeah, and I know because of the hockey break, but the hockey one's always it's March 6th. So when they come back from the freeze,
we'll only have about a week and a half.
Right, the hockey GMs will be going nuts because the whole time that they're on break, unless they're the GM of Team Canada or Team Billy Garrett, and I don't know who the GM is of Team Canada, the rest of these GMs, and there may be a freeze on rosters. It doesn't mean there's a freeze on their phone lines, if you know what I mean.
Nope. It'll be like NBA free agency. Oh, it's July 1st. Wow, look at all these deals that got done in 8 minutes.
And you know I'm chomping at the bit because my team can finally make the playoffs, and they have some assets to get rid of. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Lee County Economic Development will release its 2025 annual report on February 5th at their annual meeting. It's a powerful look at our local economy, highlighting key data, emerging trends, and performance from the past year. The report covers major industries, workforce initiatives, business growth, and partnerships that drive Lee County forward. For more information about the annual meeting and the Economic Development Office, visit leecountybusiness.com. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
So Golf Digest has a story, but not the video, which ruins it. Apparently, even more stuff's coming out from the Ryder Cup that somehow somebody in the crowd had video that finally got out there of Rory imitating Cantlay's.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm sorry. And Rory's ticked me off a lot, but I will not deny that he's not great for golf. And anybody that's mocking slow play, I'm all for. I think I told you the guy played in the tournament, not this past weekend, but the guy we played Sunday that has a little bit of a handicap issue. David, he had the Judge Smale. He waggled more than Sergio.
Oh, wow.
Put it this way, we had to quit watching him. Like, it was 20 seconds every time he lined up. Never seen anything like it. And he did it on putts. He kind of pump faked putts. I'd never seen that one before.
Did you see the meme that Nick Perkins sent out?
No.
He says, I heard Giannis wants out of Milwaukee. Now, y'all just hear me out. And he posts a picture of Giannis in an Alabama jersey. Damn, that's funny. Golly.
Yeah, by the way, Sonny, I wouldn't put Nancy Lieberman ahead of Cheryl Miller. Not close in my estimation. I wouldn't put who's the other one that you've had up there? The other one that Taurasi, I wouldn't put her, not in my opinion.
Maya Moore is interesting. She cut her career short. She might have been if she had kept playing.
I think that Jackie Joyner-Kersee would be on the short list of greatest female athletes. We're probably missing some European, but if we stick to Americans, I think it's easier for us to do that.
The Schifrin skier, who's currently active also.
Although she finally won a race because she had a bad Olympics and she's kind of struggled. Yeah. So I hope I would love to see her win a gold at this Olympics. That would be phenomenal.
Somebody thinks they tracked down Jerry Dulac from Pittsburgh as somebody who didn't vote for Belichick.
Boy, how could you be a Pittsburgh guy and not vote for him? He just kicked your ass all those years.
Last night, Shaq goes, LeBron's the first ballot Hall of Famer. Barkley goes, you never know. He might get Belichicked.
I liked Barkley's comments about LeBron should go back
to Cleveland.
I think they could use him.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till we're out of here. We're done. So Mark heads north to Tampa. Of course, those of you in Tampa, St. Pete, and Jacksonville are going, that's not north. Well, from where he's sitting, it's north. So, all the best, buddy, obviously. And don't worry, you'll not going to do the three-way text with John without you.
Okay. No, that's important. That his feeling sorry for himself while you and I are both going through different things has been laughable. And we've let him know.
Yeah, you've never cared before. Why are you caring now?
Right.
That's basically what we've said to him.
And beating him about the head and chest when he brings up hockey things has been one of the joys recently in my life. There's a lot of joy in my life. With all this going on, I'm still having fun. And, I've said it all along. This is a speed bump, guys. I will be back sooner than later. Promise you that.
You sure it's not a pothole? Are you sure it's just a speed bump?
You know what? It could be a Michigan pothole because their roads suck.
I'm not saying it's a New York City pothole. I've told the story in which literally they showed up and they put a refrigerator, and a kitchen refrigerator, and threw it in the hole and paved over it. Okay. But I do think that this qualifies as a pothole.
All right.
Or I'll give you this. How about those damn parking lots that have like the 4 speed bumps right on top of one another? That's annoying.
It is. In fact, when I try to cut out a Dairy Queen, and I can base this all on ice cream. You know where it's at in South Fort Myers. That one pisses me off because you got to scoot over to make a left turn out of there. It's a pain in the ass. Yeah, you're on to something there.
Yep. I hate those, more than 2 close together. Enough already. Stop it. Somebody needed to be fired. Who agreed to do this?
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
We go way back today. 1595, David. Very rarely can we go 16th century on this. But Romeo and Juliet is thought to have been first performed today in 1595. It wouldn't be published officially for 2 more years. Edgar Allan's Poe the Raven, first published today in the Evening Mirror newspaper in New York City in 1845. Happy birthday, Kansas. They became the 34th state today in 1861. The Coca-Cola Company was incorporated in Atlanta, Georgia today in 1892. The first players elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame was done today in 1936. Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, Honus Wagner, Christy Mathewson, and Walter Johnson. Thank goodness the voting wasn't today because somehow they would have kept Ty Cobb out for a year.
Yeah, or Babe Ruth.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Probably my favorite Stanley Kubrick movie, Dr. Strangelove, premiered today in 1964. I think it's hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. And there are scenes in which the guys in the back are laughing at Peter Sellers, and I don't think they could do enough takes that they just had to let some of them go. Today in 74, the first pick for the Dallas Cowboys, Ed Jones from Tennessee State. Huh? How about that one?
He wasn't too tall yet.
No, he was just Ed Jones. 1977, the number 1 song in America, Rolls Royce's Car Wash. Working at the car
wash.
I want to make sure a few of you are singing that the rest of the day. The Pistons, a couple of big Detroit things. One good, one was a heartbreaker. The first one was the Pistons set a regular season record crowd at the Silverdome when they beat the Celtics. 61,983 fans at the game today at 88.
Wow.
But the other one was a heartbreaker. It was today in 88 that Gibby signed with the Dodgers. 1989, the GWRBI was dropped as an official statistic.
It's ridiculous.
The all-time leader?
The end. It's the beginning of the end right there.
You know what? You might be right. You might be right. David, I'm sure you know this, but I'll have fun and let everybody play along. All-time leader in game-winning RBIs?
Oh, come on. That's a crapshoot. That could be anybody. Henry Aaron.
No. Keith Hernandez. I thought you would know just because it was a Met.
Oh, my goodness.
129.
Huh.
Today in 94, Frankie Randall beats legendary boxer Julio Cesar Chavez by split decision at the MGM Grand. It was the first time he'd been knocked down in his career. He was knocked down in the 11th. It was his first loss in 91 pro fights. Boxing was just better then.
Yes, it was.
Super Bowl 29 today at my favorite stadium name of all time. You know what it is, David. Joe Robbie. Know why he named it that? Because he built the damn thing.
Right. It's my stadium, damn it.
What are you going to name it? Joe Robbie. You got a problem with that? Niners beat the Chargers 49-26. Steve Young. your MVP. Today was the first time we heard The Axis of Evil by W. 2002, Iran, Iraq, and North Korea. 2007, The Habitants, retired number 29 for Kenny Dryden. And today in 2018, David Beckham launches Inter Miami. And the Marvel film Black Panther premiered today in LA that same year. And Joker beat Tsitsipas in straight sets for his 22nd Grand Slam title today in 2023, equaling the record. Thomas Paine, big in the revolution. William McKinley, 25th president. Actor W.C. Fields and legendary hockey coach Pat Quinn would have all celebrated birthdays today. Magnum P.I., Tom Selleck, he's 81. I always thought he was a little younger than our moms, not just, basically the same age.
Last few years on Blue Bloods, he started to look his age.
All right, fair enough. Oprah, 72. Greg Louganis and Steve Sachs are both 66. Andre Reed, 62. Dominic Hasek, 61. And Marc Gasol is 41. What did I miss, David?
There were a couple things here that I thought were worthy of mention. Did you do Peter, Paul, and Mary?
I did not.
Today in 62, they signed their first contract. Dr. Strangelove premiered today in 64.
Yeah,
that one. Well, I didn't want you to go without me missing something that you said. Okay. I mean, that's
not only did I say it, I talked about it. That was my favorite Kubrick movie.
That's right. You did. Now that I remember you saying. Yes. Okay. Yes. Now come to think of it.
Good luck getting response to your text starting tomorrow, everyone.
Hello. And Kansas is 165 years old today.
Really?
Did you have that?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward got married today in 58?
I didn't. I didn't include that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you have the Raven? I'm kidding.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
I think we just did it. Oh, boy. I don't usually do sports for the good. Go out and find the video. We go to Clemson for the good, where junior guard, and I'll probably botch the hell out of her name, Lithuanian, Rusney Augustinate.
Oh, this is a great video.
Unbelievable video. Clemson women's basketball put it out. Her teammates all pitched in and bought a plane ticket for her mother from Lithuania, who'd never seen her play in the States, and flew her to Clemson to see her daughter on campus. Amazing video. Absolutely amazing. Great job by the teammates. That's awesome. It really is.
In the video, the college player said, "My mother has not seen me play basketball in 7 years."
Amazing. We go to Brevard County for the bad, where Patrick Rinaldi was charged for a DUI and refusing DUI testing. He stopped his car and then got back in his car and began driving the car as the car was on fire. After driving a short distance, it stopped again as flames were taking over the vehicle. But Rinaldi took off again. Brevard County Fire Rescue was observed putting out a brush fire that was started by, wait for it, his burning car. Finally, the ugly. We go across the pond to Germany, where, well, a U.S. soldier is in a bit of trouble because he was found passed out, drunk, in an unoccupied room at a retirement home in Germany over the weekend. Pictures were shared all over social media. We don't know the identity of the soldier in the 173rd Airborne Brigade, but he was pantsless, drunk, and passed out in a retirement home. Thank you for your service. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, Thursday, January the 29th, brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department. New jobs for officers and other jobs available, signing bonuses, overtime, great pay. All information can be found at capecops.com. That's capecops.com.
By the way, is that the new slogan? Okay, pantsless, drunk, and passed out is no way to go through life. Is that
exactly?
Gonna have to use that. By the way, make sure I've got all the sponsors reads for this segment. You've probably sent it, but just make sure.
I'll do it again.
College hoops. There's two ranked teams tonight. They're both at home. Iowa State and Illinois. They're both big favorites. Double-digit favorites. It's an interesting A-Sun night. Jacksonville, North Florida, and FGCU, all home. North Florida's been playing better. They've picked up a couple wins. Jacksonville's been playing better. They've picked up a couple wins. You know who not playing better?
FGCU. They kind of suck. I hate to say it, but Pat Chambers was supposed to have a better team than this. They've been awful.
They are near the bottom of the A-Sun standings. In fact, they're a half a game out of last. Now, tonight, they're hosting the last place team, and they're 8.5-point favorites. This is when FGCU needs to turn this sucker around. 2-6 in conference. They were supposed to be a top 3, top 4 team in the league this year. This is not good. So Jacksonville, North Florida, FGCU, all at home tonight for what it is worth. NBA, 8 games. Heater in Chicago to face the Bulls. The Peacock double dip. Milwaukee, Washington.
Ooh, that's a thriller.
With no Giannis.
Are they contractually obligated to put every team on?
And OKC, Minnesota, though. I mean, that's interesting. NHL, Mark, I think all but 2 teams are in action tonight. I counted 15 games in the NHL tonight. Lightning are home for Winnipeg. Panthers in St. Louis.
Yeah, that's Hellebuck and Vasilevsky in that Winnipeg-Tampa game in goal. I mean, I know Winnipeg is woefully underachieved, but that's 2 of the best goalies in the game.
Yep.
I will say my Wings, I know they're near first. This is a huge game. They've got 4 before the break. 2 of them are against Colorado. They're at home tonight against Washington. They need 2 points tonight. I'm not messing around.
Yes, they do. Plus, the Avs have lost 3 of 4. So you figure by the time they play the Wings, they will have gotten their act together. So, yeah, get the points while you can.
Right, because the Panthers are coming, the Bruins are coming, the Canadians are coming.
Yeah.
That whole division's rock solid. Miller and Moulton, thank you. All of the well wishes. They have been overwhelming. I'll be back very soon. Enjoy it. David's with you tomorrow.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah!
Hey, football fans, Jimmy the Beef Guy here. This is coming up fast. Wait, did you just beat me? You mean I can't say whatever. So guys, if you're having a football party, don't wait till last minute. Remember guys, our beef packages come with the beef, the gravy, the bread, the peppers. All you have to do is heat and serve. So call me now or stop in one of our 2 locations in Bonita Springs or Fort Myers. And again, guys, please don't wait till last minute, man. Put your orders in now.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
For 22 years, we've been more than just a jewelry store. We're your neighbors at the Diamond District.
From custom design and expert repairs to gold buying, appraisals, and spa treatments for your jewelry, we do it all right here in the store.
Whether you're creating something new or bringing new life to a family heirloom,
our team handles every piece with care, craft, and experience.
22 years of dedicated service only at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332516.
This is Miller and Moulton.